What's good, everyone? What is good? Um, I'm a little different today. I'm actually just ran in. I'm a little bit late. Woo! It actually it's a bit too bright here. So tell me what you think. I got a lot going on. I see that everything is pretty much off. Looking at myself on the replay. For some reason, my chat's not coming up, guys. I can't see my chat, so I'm not sure what's going on. Let me just do a quick restart here, so I can see and be able to acknowledge everybody who's coming into the building. For some reason, I can't see my chat, which is wild because it never happened to me before. And then I'm walking in for the first time, really kind of what's going on. All right, let's do this different way. Let's go here. Let's go here. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that I show up late and then everything else starts acting up as well. And it's really bright in here because I did not lower the windows on the far side right here. Lower the windows. Okay, so I do have. Oh my goodness, hold on, because I got some sound over here. All right, so you said my mic is low. You said my mic is low, bruh. Hold on, Conshari. Sir, I'm hearing myself on the replay. It's actually pretty damn loud. Pretty damn loud. So you see my mic is low? I can hear myself pretty loud. Pretty damn loud. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about that much. I don't know what's going on. Usually I view everything off of my laptop. I have my other screen over here. I have my screen over here. I have my screen over here, obviously. But for some reason I cannot hear it. I cannot see the chat or anything on my screen from my laptop. And I am unsure why. Like I said, I'm kind of walking in the door, kind of a last moment thing. Damn, I just walked in, chilling with people, whatever. But I didn't even bother introducing. Guys, sorry. So unprofessional of me walking in the door right now. Welcome to an episode of Opinionated with yours truly. I am Resla, better known as Reggie. And quite frankly, this is a show that is pretty much about thought-provoking conversations, a lot about critical thinking, being able to discern the difference between how we look at social media or just media in general, so that we can be able to say that the thoughts that we have and that we're conveying on a regular basis are our genuine thoughts, or are they the thoughts of things that we've been indoctrinated by because we keep looking at our favorite creators all the time, or our favorite news, or whatever that case may be. Guys, I'm all over the place. It's really bright because my window's up. I'm not used to it. Usually in the daytime, I walk in the door. Usually I close my windows. I get everything set up. So let me just lower my blinds real quick. And we walked in on this very hot Saturday. So I'm like, if you hear a little bit something in the background, it's probably just my AC blowing because I just got it started. I literally just walked in the door, guys. So yeah, and I got a couple of things running. I don't know what's running on what. I'm trying to hear everything all at once. I got something going weird between what I'm doing in the foreground versus what I'm doing in the background. Here. You guys hear? I got music. Yeah. I'm Thanks for letting me know, Con. I'm lowering our music right now. Oh, sorry. It's not jointed. That's why the music was going crazy. Sorry about that, Con. It's not jointed. That's why the music was going crazy. Sorry about that. So, today's going to be a rather chill stream. I want to talk about whatever's going to be. Sorry, I'm listening to myself. Sorry, I went out. I got a whole bunch of people. We were chilling. We was drinking. I'm still talking with some friends. Hold on, let me make sure that they're gonna have to realize that I'm not really talking for a moment because I'm gonna put myself on a quick mute so that I'm talking to you guys because you're my friends at this moment. Not necessarily them. I like my have my focus and attention on you guys. Hold on for a moment. Computer, lights on. There we go. Now we got a little bit of background that actually shows up as well. Hope guys don't mind. Like I said, it's a pretty chill stream. Gonna have some music playing, and I'm gonna cover a couple of things right now, which is pretty much just some things that have been happening throughout the week of social media. This is gonna be a very, very relaxed stream. We're gonna kick it. Feel free to ask me questions. Feel free to talk about whatever's going on through your mind. In reference to things that happen in the media or things just happening on other platforms, that on your mind, or just general conversation you want to have about. Actually, while I have it here on my mind, oh shoot, nope, it's actually not gonna be one of those kind of streams. I kind of walked in late, guys. I'm sorry. But we can talk about whatever in your mind, whatever you want to talk about. Also, here is a big I can't think right now. Sorry, guys. I went out drinking a whole bunch of guys. Came back in, trying to sort my mind out together. I said, I gotta leave. They said, oh, you a bitch for leaving. I said, no, I gotta leave. I gotta make sure I get to my online family. Next week on Wednesday 4 p.m. I will be doing my stream. Hold on. Now we're gonna go to dark stuff. Next week, Wednesday, we will be doing the official live stream for about how do white people experience racism. For those who are coming in, I'll keep making this announcement as we keep going throughout the stream. But if you do happen to be of quote Caucasian descent, I would like you to be, for all intents and purposes, pure Caucasian, not half, not mixed or whatever, because I want to actually get a general perspective. It doesn't matter where you come from, whether you're upper class, whether you're lower class, or you're somewhere in the middle. It doesn't necessarily matter. What does matter is that you have a particular perspective and what your experiences are when having this conversation and what we talk about racism throughout general different areas when it comes to the culture, right? And I want to go through that. I'm going to have a shit ton of questions. It's not going to be anything too invasive, but it will be questions to try to have people's minds enlightened as to the fact that what is your particular take or what's your particular personal experience when it comes to dealing with racism, dealing with judgments, dealing with the fact that you're even allowed to have particular conversations. I do invite men and women to the platform. I guess I'm going to say it right up front. I would like it very much if you are somebody who can get on camera, but I am never beholden to anyone who wants to do that. Everybody has privacy. Everybody has different jobs, whatever the case may be. So if you are a person that doesn't necessarily want to get on camera, I respect that. Just be in mind, if you're not going to be on camera, stay the fuck off of camera. Do not get on camera later on. I don't want anyone flashing their hoo-ha or their dick or whatever the case may be. And if you're a person that's actually interested in popping up on the panel, I wrote a community post for the actual event, which is going to be, like I said, next week. So that's next week, October 8th. So guys, Wednesday, October 8th is going to be ours. October 7th, sorry. Next week, October 7th is going to be our stream for do white people experience racism? And I already wrote that in the community post. If you want to, you can reply to the community post if you want to be a participant in that. But it's going to be pretty much open panel for anyone who wants to come in. Which means, guys, if you're Hispanic, if you're Indian of any type, if you're Asian, if you're Black, do not think about coming into the damn panel. Feel free to be a participant in the chat because I will have questions for people in the chat. I will have questions. I have polls. I have quizzes. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I've been really thinking about for this thing for a while now to get your particular interaction or your particular perspective on what you think, like what white people do understand and what they don't understand on your experience, what you feel they may or may not understand about plights that are happening within different communities, and we can have that conversation. Now, keep in mind, this is not a gang up fest. This particular stream that I'm talking about is not a gang up fest on white people. I don't put that up there. I would never put people in a situation where it's just a firing squad. We're not doing that. But I think a genuine conversation, a genuine understanding, and a genuine perspective, not from just their side, but also as your side, as someone who's quote not of the caucus of mountains, can share your thoughts, your ideas, and just figure out how does someone in that particular sphere, that particular bubble, sees that kind of stuff from their point of view, interacting with your questions. I think it's gonna be a very good thing. I encourage all the white people to come in and actually to share their opinion. I probably will limit the number of panelists, but not by a lot. I know on like StreamYard, we have like an abundance that you can go up to like 10 people at once. 10 people seems like a whole lot to manage, so I probably will limit the number just a little bit. But I will also, if I do have an abundance of people, which I really doubt I will because I'm such a small channel, but if I do wind up in an abundance of people, I would just rotate people in and out so that they can also get their perspective on such. And then I haven't decided really if at the end, near the end of the actual show, whether we will have people be able to come in and ask particular questions themselves, if you're inclined to do so, to come in, ask particular questions that you would like, or if you want to do it via the chat, or rather, you guys know me, I'm not monetized, so I can't do super chats. Sorry, but if I think that the actual questions are really valid or a really good one, then maybe that's something that I might actually ask the panelists. And keep in mind, I got a whole bunch of questions, but these are questions that are in my mind to ask. So if you have any particular questions yourself that you may want to ask, or something I may not have thought of, feel free to reach out to me on my email address, which of course is at reslaopinionated@gmail.com. For some reason, if that is just so much for you to freaking write down, description, just go to the description box. You'll actually see my email there. Guys, how are you doing today? I see that we have a couple people that's coming in. I'm going to, yep, absolutely, Con. You already see, I got my liquor up there. I got plenty of it to go. Before I even came here from everywhere else, I was already drinking, paying more money, by the way. But I passed by the liquor store to make sure that I got my favorite brand to welcome in here and have this conversation today. I want to chill. I want to have some good music. Listen to make sure that my music's not too loud for you guys. Let me know if my music's too loud for you guys. That sounds pretty good to me, but you guys let me know if it's too good for you, or maybe you might want to switch it up to get to something else a little bit more mellow or whatever. I have all kind of different tracks, all kind of different areas, but just keep in mind, I would like to be able to keep this track up. So hopefully something that is a little bit more monetized. So just let me know the kind of tone you're going in. But before we get into anything else, you know how I do things. You know how Reg does things. I want to, of course, appreciate everybody's here in the chat, and I'm effing up already. So hold up. Let's do this. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let her get her booty in it. I'm sorry, that's not the words. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, let me just do this real quick so I can make sure that I can see everybody's comments. Boom. And what we're going to do here is we're going to do this. We're going to pop this out. And I'm going to put it on this side so I can see you guys. I tend to look more on this side than anywhere else. Guys, so of course, I want to, of course, acknowledge everybody who walked in the door bright and early. Khan Shari walks in. He has no problem expressing my name whatsoever. Again, I'm not hiding. So you can feel free to call me Reggie if you want. So Khan Shari, of course, with the acknowledgement of me being in the building. I appreciate you being here. And then also the lovely, hey babe, what's going on? Happy that you showed up. So that's Yvette Marie who walked in, and I'm realizing that it's not popping up on my screen. Technical difficulties on this part. I don't know why it's not popping up, but for some reason it's popping up on my side, but it's not popping up. Why is it not popping up on my OBS side? Oh my goodness. You do something, you try to prepare for it, and it still don't behave the way it needs to. Let's try this again. Thank you. I don't know what happened there, but again, Con Shonery, and then of course Yvette walking in saying, "Hey." So I appreciate you guys. You say your royalty? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see about that. But yes, absolutely drinks. That's absolutely drinks. I don't know what's going on with my laptop. Why it's not showing me the chat? Because usually it's how I respond to you guys on my laptop, and I do everything else on the scene. Yes, Conshon Reed. The topic for next Wednesday will be, how do white people experience racism? You know, I have a few topics that's going to be coming up that have been sitting on my task list for a while. Like I've shown you guys pretty much before that my notions, I got a shit ton of topics. It would be nice to start knocking off a lot of those things. And I knew that uh with all the topics I bring up, not everything is going to be as quote entertaining or sexy, but I do feel like the things that I want to get covered. And what happens is that I don't know if you were there or not, or maybe you showed up later, but put a poll in the chat about what kind of topic that the people would like to be the next thing for me to focus on. And unanimously, there was a vote of people that said that they wanted the how are white people experience racism topic. So I spent the good part of a week or so just getting that together, and that's going to be our topic for Wednesday. I didn't want to drag it out, so I did devote a little bit of time to it. But because of that, that's going to be a topic for next week. I do hope that since you guys unanimously voted for that you will show up for that stream. And of course, it's going to be 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, Eastern time, because I'm here in New York on the East Coast. So hopefully you guys actually show up for that stream. Anyone who's interested in joining up, feel free to show up. I'm going to have it structured in a particular way. I will ask questions to the chat as well. I will be asking questions to the panelists who show up. Sorry, but if you are a mixed breed, you might have to sit to the back, depending on how many people that show up have come up on the panel. But I will be reaching out to a plethora of people, people that you may never ever met before. That's if they wish to show up, because you know what, there's some bigger creators out there. They may be like, you know what, Resla, you're a little too small for me to come visit your channel. I understand that you came through and you kind of threw a wrench in my own shit. We got some great conversation, but I'm just not ready to visit your platform yet, and I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely all right with that. But if you are a person who are of caucus descent, and you wish to join the panel, absolutely. Like I said, you don't have to join the panel. You don't have to join the camera. You don't have to have your camera on. But I do advise, if you don't want to have your camera on, keep your camera off. Just for the safety of the channel, it will be a shame if we are starting out so early with the Opinionated squad, and we are already having our channels demonetized because I say our channel again. I'm not being paid for this. Are having our channel demonetized because, quite frankly, people don't wanna. People rather just be stupid rather than just be positive and engaging. So that's pretty much what I'm getting on that one. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. I got a few things that are all over. I don't know what happened with my. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Again, my laptop is being messed up. So I think I'm just gonna close my laptop, and it's just gonna be one less screen, so I can just talk with you guys today, because I can't use it anyway. So I have to talk with you guys on the chat. No biggie. Anyway, guys, I hope that you guys had a really good day. It is Saturday. I think a lot of you guys want to be out. I got friends of mine that's still talking about whether they want to go to the beach or not. Not me. I'm not a beach person. I'm not going to pay attention to that. And how are you guys doing today? It's Saturday. It's pretty decent. It's a pretty decent weather over here in New York right now. A little too hot for my liking. I was sweating just leaving the spot that I was at for my friends, go to the liquor store. I do have some things that I might want to pick apart in social media, because a lot of things have happened between last week and this week that have hit my feed. There are some things I want to cover, but not necessarily too much in my video, and you guys may have heard it as well, being that you guys also like to be in social media, or rather social media hits all out of our feed. Let me know what your actual thoughts on some of the stuff that's going on. Actually, I'm realizing I do need to stuff just to make sure that you guys can hear me. So, did you guys let me know if the music is played okay? I want to make sure that I'm not having any music that's stopping you guys from hearing me. No, just in case, I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit, just in case. All right, so guys, has anyone heard anything about this whole Ava Chris Tyson thing that's been going on in social media when it comes to uh, the whole Mr. Beast debacle that's been taking place. Now, for those who don't know, and I'm gonna figure out which screen that I got it on because I got like 18 million um, tabs that are open. That's the nastiness that I have when it comes to me and my streams, or just me in general. I just have too many stuff that's open. So, in case you've been under a rock, or rather, if you're not someone who's really invested in what's going on in social media, Ava Chris Tyson is basically someone who has been on Mr. Beast's squad for a while. They are like they've known Mr. Beast for like 15 years, something like that. And I think Ava Chris Tyson, when they were just Chris Tyson before they hit the whole community and decided to identify as a woman, has been in the media of late. And I think one of the most recent things is that they were talking to someone via text messages or Discord or whatever, and the person happened to be underage. Um, if you don't know anything about it, it's cool. I don't think you're missing out on much, and I think your life is probably better for it. But in the social media world of creators and influencers, it's a big thing that's actually showed up of late. Now, for me, I didn't necessarily care too much about it, but it popped up day after day after day after day. And while I didn't want to get into the whole big debacle story of it, there are some aspects of things that I do want to cover in reference to it. Now, for those of you guys who know me, I don't care slash I do care when it comes to freedom of expression and what people's rights are when it comes to particular issues, right? So one of the things that I talk about is the fact that people speak on LGBTQ plus whatever rights. Now, I don't necessarily care about that. I care about human rights, which means everybody together, not you specifically. I'm a person that believes in looking after human people's rights, making sure that people are not discriminated against equally. Not someone in particular, which is why I'd have no problem with discrimination laws, but I do have a problem with DEI. And because of that, because of things like that, what I tend to do is I tend to give my perspective on things. Now, I will say this to people who are sitting, quote, in that community. Y'all need to band together and y'all need to do something about this mofo. At this point, you can't even say that it's a guy out here in a scandal that's potential essay with young boys who's not even young anymore. The guy's like 20 or 19 or something like that now. But when it happened, the guy was like 14. Sorry, you're gonna have to take the L on this one because you're gonna have to say that that's a woman who's been inappropriate with this boy who was like 14 years old. Why? Because they identify as a woman. You can say, "Oh no, but it was a guy." But no. You guys want to advocate for the fact that you have these people out here who are talking about gender dynamics and what they are allowed to go back and forth with. Because it's the women that turn around and say that we are right, that we're okay with the fact that men can become women and we should acknowledge as that. Men are not out there screaming in droves that they acknowledge that. That's you guys. So, quite frankly, if you have this person who was once a male, whatever, identifying as a woman and then get caught in a scandal about possibly being with minors, you need to take that squarely on the chin and battle that. Now, on the other end of that, right, those who are in the community, let me just be the one to tell you that right now that this makes you look bad. It makes you look bad. Not you personally, but as a group specifically. And the reason why I mention that is I'm a person that I've had like homosexual friends. I've had people who I've worked with who have definitely been on your community spectrum that I've worked with, whether they were trans, whether they were gay, or whether they were lesbian. No matter, I've hired people who have been on the spectrum. Now, the issue that I have is that when we have particular people, the stigma. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry if you don't hear that. I do. It's like somebody came through with a damn motorcycle. people on on those spectrums, and I say spectrums because quite frankly, you're not all the same. The L's, the B's, the T's, the Q's, you're all different. So whatever spectrum that you're on, quite frankly, the big stigma for a long time was that, quite frankly, and I'll just use it for the gays right now. But part of the gay, uh, uh, part of the gay thing that was thrown on people is that if they're gay, they're pedophiles. And I'm like, that's not true. Just because you're a lesbian or just because you're a gay person doesn't mean that you're a pedophile. It means that you like someone of the same sex. Age has nothing to do with it. But these things were thrown out, right? And then now, of late, you have people that are coming out saying that they are trans or non-binary, right? And then you also get scandals that come up and saying that, quite frankly, they are now also a part of, quote, that spectrum of people who come up being accused of doing things like being with minors. You set your people back, and I'm going to say, because you identify in a community, I'm going to just say your people. I don't mean by race. I mean by the people in community that you quote are defined under. So you're a trans person. You're a trans person. You'll fit under that community, and because of that, you set your people back. If people were ever if heterosexual, if straight, normative, whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's just too much bullshit. Is basically already having stereotypes against your people, your kind of people, your people with your mindset, and saying that you guys have, quote, have pedophilic natures. I shouldn't even really say pedophilic. I should say if people in your community have been accused of having acts of being Geppetto, then quite frankly, you just set your people back, because it gives more credence for people who are the majority, because the people within this community is not the majority. They're not even half the population. They're not even a quarter of the population. You're minuscule. If the mass majority already see acts of you being questionable, and the people that you have, quote, in the limelight, because this is not a social media thing. This is not a creator thing. This is not a influencer thing. There are people all over the board who do this. There are people who will never know their name who engage in this kind of actions. If you don't find a way to rein these people in, right? Really? You said you haven't heard of gays equals a pedo thing. So I will tell. So let me tell you this. I'll give you from my perspective, because this is how I've always known it to be. At first, I thought it might have been just something that happened with older people. I'll give you my perspective. So at first, I thought this was just something that happened with older people. So one of my first experiences of dealing with someone who was gay was actually in the church. And he was the lead pianist, not penis, pianist. And anyone who really wanted to learn how to play the piano, you had to go through training. Now, he played the piano, he played the organs. He was a good guy. He was a cool guy, whatever. That doesn't mean that stereotypes didn't come along with, quote, being gay. And part of the stereotypes that come in is that gay people are pedophiles. I can tell you that hands down. Shit, I just said it again. The gay people engage in acts of being like Geppetto. But quite frankly, this was a big stereotype that was pushed forward in a lot of the, quote, people who are gay. We're not talking about gay communities. This was a time where I'm talking about like in the early 80s, maybe even 90s, or the late 80s, early 90s of things like this being put out. It was just really big of saying that if you are someone who was part of the gay community, then you may have actually engaged in acts of being Geppetto. And when I say being Geppetto, it's a guy who engaged with being infantilizing with having real boys. Just put it that way. That's why I just said Geppetto is the only thing that makes sense in my mind to say, until I could figure out something else. But quite frankly, this was like a case that was always thrown onto gay people, and This is even when I grew up to understand, because quite frankly, I dealt with a whole lot of older people. And as black people, I don't know why is it so busy right now. Oh, it's freaking no, it's Saturday, it shouldn't be rush hour. But as black people, one of the biggest things that we look at as a huge stigma is homosexuality. Me, not necessarily in perspective, but quite frankly, this is a big thing that happens in just the black community. And part of the issue was that because times back then were not like now, where gay people have more rights, people have gay people have more say, more freedoms or whatever. This is something that got, it wasn't necessarily the way it was. That doesn't mean that those same stereotypes don't still hold true today in terms of accusations, right? It's not a matter of gay people just being over sexualized or um being more promiscuous or whatever the case. It was always have that stigma of them also being on the acts of being acting like Geppetto. And because of that, a lot of people didn't have trust for them. I, for one, was not able to get a good lesson. We're not able to get a lesson to actually learn piano teaching, because, quite frankly, the person in the church who was the person who played all the music and everything, still a man of God or faith, whatever, was also known as a gay person. And quite frankly, there were no women that were going to allow their children, or even guys, I'll even say for that matter, that were going to allow their children to be alone or with this man. But any other time I ever got to know him, every other time I got to chill with him, every other time I speak to him during choir practice or whatever, because he was also the person that did choir practice. Cool guy, no problem. To my knowledge, I don't know what other scandals that adults have, because I was young, but from my mindset of being a young person, learning and observing, there was never a problem. He never tried anything weird with people, or even with me, whatever. But that doesn't stop people from having their particular proclivities. And I'm using this one guy as an example, but I've seen this all across the board when it comes to people. There have been always this talk of this nature of people who are in the gay community acting as Geppettos, and I've seen it throughout. Like I said, my early part of my year, throughout junior high school, through high school, and even parts of being in college. It wasn't until this whole big rise came up in black wow, when gay people were actually allowed the the availability to engage in marriage, that not that it went away, but it dissipated a little bit. And that's why I look at it that way, Con. Now, when you have a big stigma with the black community, even white people said we don't want our children being around this person. We're not talking about people who are sex offenders and on the registry. We're talking about just gay people. And whether, no matter what race you were gay, you were gay, you were white, you were black, you were Indian, you were Hispanic. A lot of people associated gay people with, quote, acts of Geppetto. And it was really weird, because even when I was in high school and even in college, a lot of people who I knew to be gay weren't a problem to me. No, again, I've been drinking, so I'm trying. That's why I'm correcting myself. Ha ha! Don't try me. I'm not at my best. I'm not at my best state right now. Um, but I never saw any problems when it came to them and that stuff. But then you have this guy, Ava Chris Tyson, who, quite frankly, will engage in acts. And then the problem with the internet, right? First of all, the problem with people's interactions, never mind the internet, is that whatever your interactions are, whether you are someone who's in the media, whether you're someone who's a celebrity, whether you're some influencer, or whether you're just a normal person, you engaging in conversation or in acts that are not considered safe for children, you need to be questioned about it. Like, I mean, here's a great example. Um, some of you might be new who's watching me in the chat. Not everybody who watches me engages in the chat. And I would just say, engage in the chat. Trust me, ain't nobody here gonna bite your hand off. I think you can already see, if you've been watching for a little while, that the people who are in the chat are pretty cool. We having a very opinionated family, and of course, those who have my wrenches, of course, those are my opinionators. Those are the people who I definitely speak to behind the scenes, get their perspectives on how I'm moving. They feel free to check me at any point, but any of you guys can check me at any point. But I do ask them for their particular perspective on how I move. Guys, when we have people who are out there and they're having these conversations with so many different people, I haven't ran across gay people who were, quote, these people. I think that if you are a person that's engaging in talking to minors in a specific way that is not conducive to what would be considered safe for them, then you might be a problem. Now, we're not talking about what you don't know, what you're cognizant of, whatever. We're not talking about the 4-year, the Romeo Juliet laws. We're not talking about that. We're talking about people who are cognizant. Say like Zoomer just said, no, I'm not gonna say the age of consent should be 25 because that's absolutely insane. That is insane. That is an insane position to take. And if you like, I can explain why it's an insane position to take. But if you're in a particular age rank, then that means anything below that age, they're looking at you with a higher standard because you have more, quote, brain capacity and more experience than the person that's sitting below you. It's like the conversation that we talk about, or rather not we haven't had that conversation, but the conversation that you will hear across the internet about people who are like in their 30s and 40s dating people who are in their, their younger 20s or so, or their mid 20s. You think, oh, they're gonna be taking advantage of this person. That person has more experience and more capacity for having reason, rather than the people who are below the age of voting. Let's just put it that way. Below the age of voting. I'm sorry, it's just not the same thing. It's not the same thing to say that someone who is like 23 should be loitering over a freaking 14-year-old. Yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. Now, a person who turns 20 who is dating someone who's 17, I don't have a problem with that. Or even 15, I don't have a problem with that. They're, quote, within that age bracket. There's a difference between you talking to someone who is, quote, a minor, within a fraction of our age range, versus someone that we're talking about, someone who's just who's an adult versus someone who's an older adult. There's just a different dynamic between that, and people need to really be rational in their thinking when it comes towards that. Well, yeah, it is for sure, because let's just be honest, there are people who are 18, 19, 16 who are so better at thinking than people who are in their 20s and 30s. Why does that person get held back? If the person is smart and they're articulate and they're well beyond their years, it's not a lot of people, I'm even gonna say the average, but well beyond their years, they can even be emancipated early, and they can make all the adult decisions early in their life. What are we saying? What do we say about someone who's actually 18? They can do all the weird shit outside of drinking for some reason. But we can see somebody who's in their 40s and they think like someone who's in their early 20s, probably even teens. Maturity doesn't have, I'm sorry, but maturation doesn't necessarily have an age. There's a difference between mental capacity and physical capacity. I mean, if that wasn't the case, let's be honest, there would be a lot of people, I'm just going to say it, there'd be a lot of people out there who will be taking advantage of the mentally disabled. Why? Because they're old enough, right? They got the body, right? Well, of course, we don't think that way. We think of intellect as what we consider intellect when we choose the people that we choose to fornicate with. And if you've had people who were just looking for people who are of age and choose to fornicate with them, we also question those people. Do we not? We question them. regardless of their body or the how many years they've been on Earth, constitute as legal, we do question the people's intention when they get with these type of people. The same way how I think of the guy who was older, but he had a woman that she had a syndrome, but she looked like a child, but she was in her 20s. They were both in their 20s, but because she looked like a child in nature, they couldn't get married with each other because he couldn't handle the overwhelming pressure that he was getting from people all over social media. Does that woman have to stay alone for the rest of her life because she will never look more than a child? And I mean, not just in face, we're talking about in size. This chick was small. She should have been still going to like elementary school. And she was with a grown man. They were both grown adults, by the way, but she looked extremely young. And he couldn't take the heat that was coming on from social media. Is it right? So she's have to stay alone for the rest of her life because she looks like a child, but she's not? She's working for, of course not. So there's a lot of nuance that comes into a lot of stuff. I'm sorry, but age doesn't necessarily factor into how long you've been on the earth. Does not necessarily qualify for everything. I'm going to say it. A lot of people are going to disagree, and you feel free to have your opinion. But I am always on this thing about quantity of years versus quality of life. If you have the intellect because your quality of life is significantly different than those who just worry about the quantity of years, we need to have a conversation about that. And this is a conversation that happens a lot of times that people just don't seem to reconcile, even though it's a very rational thing you can look at. It's a numbers game versus a quality thing. Well, I mean, here's the sad part about it. I can't imagine that. You know why I can imagine that? Because they'll turn around and say, because people will judge someone to say, how can my 24-year-old be going out with somebody who's in his 50s? I think he's taking advantage of her. And it's crazy to think that. But people will think however they want to think. Because the image of public perception is not the same as being logical. If you look at the law, it takes a really good judge to throw everything out of the window that is emotional for something that's, quote, rational. Because too many people, the first thing they jump to is their lizard brain, which hits emotionality first before ever getting to the logic part. That's it. That's it. That's just the way how I look at it. But the same way how you say, imagine going to prison for dating a 24-year-old, is the same thing as saying, what if you're a senior in high school and you're dating a freshman? You two stay together. That man hits 18, now the freshman is quote 16 or 17 or whatever, and he goes to jail. Should he? They were already known to be with each other. Now she's off limits? Oh, well, let's make it even smaller than that. You're the senior and the person that you with is a junior. Just 1 year apart. You graduate, she's still going to school for that 1 year. Should you go to jail? But people have made this kind of case a lot. He's taking advantage of her. How? Because he's an adult. He's 18. They were together when he was 17. Like, what are we doing here? Which is why we need to have conversation about nuance, And I think this is why when I say the gay thing, right? There are people that just throw out everything everywhere. Like, even if you're a religious person, right? Let's just say, cool, you're good with the Bible, you believe that sodomizing is just a terrible thing. Cool. Does that just fall on gay people? Does you liking a little anal just fall on gay people? Because men that like anal, like to give their women anal, it just says sodomy. This doesn't necessarily say sodomy between man and man. It just says sodomizing is a bad thing. So anyone that just happens to like going in that, as you like to say, Zoomer, booty hole brown, is automatically someone who's going up against God's words, right? Is that Really, even if it's in a quote a marital home, a marital home, you know, if she says, "Baby, I got my cramps right now. I'm just not. I'm doing a lot. I'm like, it's really heavy. I'm flowing like crazy." He says, "I get you, babe. So what about that back door?" She's like, "Maybe the back door. Sure." They're married. They're married. So they turn around and say, "I can't do it because it will be frowned upon by the Lord, even though, quite frankly, you're my wife and you gave yourself to me." Just saying. And then, as people, who are we to police other people's bedrooms, right? Just saying. I I agree, but this also goes into the question that hits my mind: is will there ever be a way to safely decriminalize something? Safely decriminalize something, because we happen to be one of those things that doesn't want to be, decriminalized. We're trying to get to that point, and I just say, just let it happen. Honestly, I think all drugs should probably just be legal at this point. You're the idiot that decided to take drugs. Whatever drugs that you decide to take, so long as I look at it in terms of magic, right? For my people who understand magic, not magic tricks, magic. We're going into lore, we're going into fantasy, whatever. If you choose to perform magic, it's fine. If you choose to perform blood magic, it's fine. So long it's if it's your blood or the blood of a volunteer. The problem with blood magic is that you always need more. So as long as you don't cast blood magic on people that did not volunteer for it, we're good. Do not use innocent people for blood magic. So I think that all drugs should be innocent. Should be out there open, and you want to use it if you want to. Just do not force drugs on to other people. Do not make people addicts. If they choose to become addicts is one thing. Do not force people to become addicts. That's my deal. Don't be like Zoom, like, "Yo, yeah, this one girl, she look real good. I was thinking about taking her on a date, and I was thinking I was gonna take her to this place. They serve this nice ice cream, and I was thinking about putting a little bit of fencing on her ice cream, and she'll forever be mine, because she gonna look at me as the plug all the time. That pussy gonna be mine forever." That is wild. That is wild. That is some crazy shit. That is some totally domineering shit. Is totally taking advantage of somebody. That shit is crazy. That is crazy. But there are people who have done all. I remember like people who got other people addicted to stuff because they used to lace their weed with like angel dust. There are people who have been always who've been predators who use drugs to get people addicted to stuff to totally ruin other people's lives for a long time. And I think those people should be held to the highest of punishments. Highest of punishments. But as far as you electing on your own to fuck your life up, yeah, you go ahead. You go ahead. Because there are people who hit rock bottom and they still can't give up the drugs. And I just say, you can still get off of it. You just have to be willing to sign away your rights for a little bit to make sure that you get clean. But you can. You absolutely can. CCD, what's going on? You feeling British today? Is that what's going on? Wait, what? I don't think so. I mean, how? In what way would they be able to get money? In what way would you like? I mean, honestly, because unless you can't even do it, you can't even profit from it. Age of consent is just by whatever definition of those laws be able to protect, the people that's there. I don't see a profit from it, so to say. I mean, let's just be honest. Let's just say if you're 16 years old and your state says that as age of consent you are allowed to have sex, right? You still can't do OnlyFans. You still can't join a porn industry. Even if you are emancipated at 16, you can't join a porn industry. You have to at least be 18 or 19 so they can call it, quote, barely legal. You can't say, well, I'm opinionated, so if I want to toot this ass up, I already got to go ahead and say I can make decisions. You can't do it. The law still says that you can't do it. So I can't think of many ways that the government would generate cash from age of consent. I could be, it just could be something I'm not thinking about. I'm not gonna say that there's not possibilities. There's always something out there that someone's able to finagle, but I can't think of it right off my head as to a way that the government specifically, not the person, but the government would be able to generate a cash flow off of age of consent. That's a curious question. That's a very curious. I've never thought of. Damn! Shout out to you, Zoomer. You shout out a really curious question. I've never ever considered that question, especially in terms of the government. I wonder if anyone's ever thought about that before, or ever came up with a particular answer for it. Domino effect? For age of consent? I don't know. Chat. Has anyone ever thought about something like that? That there might be a domino effect? Because outside of the fact that this person is on their own, that this person is, quite frankly, having to spend money or pay bills, that's the saying if they're not living with their family members anymore or whatever. Like, if they have to pay bills, if they have to be on their own, they have to do all this stuff. Like, what the hell? What the hell? What? Why? Oh, my Nightbot just did something. That's the first time my Nightbot actually did something. What the fuck? Actually, I'm surprised. This is the first time my Nightbot actually responded to something. I've been having my Nightbot up for a while, so I'm a little surprised that my Nightbot actually did something. That's wild. That's crazy. That was weird. I'll have to check out my Nightbot. yo, Nightbot standing on business. That's a fact. I've never seen my Nightbot do that before. Oh shoot. Hold on. I'm looking at what CCD had up there. I'm like, that didn't seem crazy at all. That was the first time I ever saw Nightbot come up. I'm like, Nightbot, what are you doing? That's just a goodbye. Damn. That was crazy. That was real crazy. I've never seen that before. Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna monitor that, and I'll definitely take a look at Nightbot. That was absolutely crazy. Yeah, Nightbot standing on business. Apparently, I don't know what you did to offend it, but that's the first time for me. I could see you. Don't let it ruin your flow. No, I can see you. I can see you, CCD. It just threw me off. It threw me off. I was like, wait, what the fuck, Nightbot? And I said, why did Nightbot come up? Not just CCD. Like, what did CCD do? I'm like, that doesn't look bad. What the fuck? Yeah, that threw me off. That really threw me off. Shit. Yeah, now I'm looking at it now. It's about the whole timeout and everything. I'm happy I didn't have long timeouts, but okay. I learned something new. Chat. Also, while I got you guys, I've been thinking about. Yeah, I'm the same. Check Ash, but I've been thinking about putting together. Great. I think I have a mosquito in here. I've been thinking about putting together a couple of things. I've been changing up and adding a couple of new things that's been in there. It's been slow because my project list is like a big fucking list, and I just need time to do it, which I've been sleeping a lot lately. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or whatever. Anyway, I've been thinking about opening up a Discord. Well, rather, let me just say I have a Discord. I just don't keep up with it because Discord seems to be a lot of work. Hey, what's going on, man? Um, Discord is a lot of work, and me, I'm already busy as is. Believe it or not, even though I don't do this a full time because I'm not a full time streamer. I kind of bounce back and forth between a lot of things in life, so I always wonder if I do a Discord, will I be able to keep up with the people that's showing up for Discord, having conversations, joking about things, posting and memeing things. But I also think about people who may want to have a particular conversation that may not necessarily want to be up on a panel. So I've been thinking about whether I want to start up a Discord, rather I should say whether I want to make my Discord public. You guys give me your thoughts on that. I'll probably just put up a questionnaire or something in the community tab, and you guys let me know. Because quite frankly, if it stays quiet, it'll be whatever it is. Because quite frankly, a lot of you guys don't look at my community tabs. Just saying. I post things on my community tab sometimes for opening shows that are coming up. I have particular questions about particular things that pop up once in a while. And then I also post up when I have particular shows that show up. Like say when I do shows with OG Do Dirty, the times we're gonna be posting, just to make sure that people get the heads up as to when we're gonna be doing the shows. So I'm always wondering if I should start up a Discord, because I think as we get more people that's showing up here, people who are more integrated with other programs as well, I think for people's security, I think a lot of people don't want to actually show up or click the link to a panel because quite frankly, they're busy, or you guys can't necessarily watch as a stream is actually going. Sometimes you guys just want to listen, and I'm fine with that as well. But those who wish to engage and say you need to be on the road or whatever, I think Discord is a pretty good function for people to use if they already have the Discord app. So I don't have a problem with that as well. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I'm just always worried about putting up Discord because whether I can keep up with it or not. I think if I had wholeheartedly thought that I was just gonna dump everything I had into content creation, and you guys see me like up all the time streaming whatever, I would be wholeheartedly into it. But as far as a tool to be able to speak to each other on a regular basis, I don't think that's gonna be it. I don't think it would be a problem, but I won't know without actually testing it up. Mystic M, what's going on? She says Reggie. She got the 3 in there too. God damn. What's going on? So yeah, I've been thinking about that as well. I've been thinking about reaching out to other platforms that I post to, which I haven't posted in a while, by the way. I've been thinking about other platforms that I wish to post them to, just to let them know that I actually do this. Believe it or not, I get pretty silent, so I don't let a lot of people know on, like, say Instagram or like TikTok or even like my Facebook. I don't really let people know that I do content creation. I don't know, and I don't know why. I just have this weird feeling, and I think that's that cautious risk assessment part of me. But outside of that, I don't really have a problem with it. I think people who do know that I do this, or that I've been doing this, I don't think they really take the time to really take a look at my work anyway. That I'm just gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. What the fuck? Now, like my okay. Hold up, guys. Hold up. I think we need to do something about. Do something about Nightbot, because now Monica just walked up in here and she already got the warning. Okay, we're gonna disconnect that for a little bit. Nightbot got a little bit of power, and now it's flexing its authority already. It's got the long dick of the law on this opinionated channel. So we gotta do something about Nightbot real quick. I'll learn about Nightbot. This was crazy. Yeah, listen. Well, I got a thing about caps. Oh, you're right, Monica. I got a thing about caps. I got a thing about caps. I do. Not that I have a problem. Here's the problem that I have. When people just say things in caps, it's cool, but there are people who literally all of their interactions in chats are just nothing but caps. And it's distracting. It's distracting to the host. It's distracting to panelists. It's distracting to people in the chat. People are trying to have regular interactions with each other, or whether they're talking about the message or they're just having their own private conversations in the chat. And it gets crazy. it's the same thing like adding the host. Like if I'm trying to read a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in the chat and then you at me, you specifically get my attention, which may take me away from everything else, which I don't have a problem with, especially because we're such a small knit community right now. So I don't have a problem with people adding me to get my specific attention on something that's important rather than someone that just wants to at me for everything, because I've seen that in other people's chats and I think it's egregious. But typically I don't have a problem with it. But I do realize that that was one of my criteria for Nightbot. So actually Nightbot did its job. So forgive me on that. That's not Nightbot's fault. That's actually my fault. I don't know why it came for CCD. I'm gonna have to figure that one out. But as far as you, Monica, that was my fault. Nightbot did do his job on it, but I told Nightbot to take a break. So hopefully it respects my wishes and takes a break. Hopefully. Yeah, I know that you take a look at my community posts, but not everybody does. And I don't know if that's a YouTube thing, like if you guys just not get a notification from my community post, or you just say, I don't feel like answering this Negro, which is, it's your right to do so. But of course, I don't know whether you're interested in something or whether you acknowledge that something is taking place or whatever, because you decide you don't want to say nothing. Or maybe you're just afraid to say something because someone else didn't say something. And then I say, if somebody else didn't say something, you should be the first to say something instead of wait for somebody else to say something. I'm just saying. Be the first. Don't be a follower. Just saying. Mystic M, I hope everything is good. I hope you're enjoying your day. Sorry that Nightbot came for your neck. Me and Nightbot will have a conversation. I can't say that it's got to hold off for you specifically. I can't be biased from the rest of my opinionators out here. So, but me and Nightbot might have a little bit of talk, just to make sure that we don't do that for everybody. Just saying. We'll have a talk. I can't say that you're going to be excluded, but me and Nightbot will have a talk after the show. But I hope your day has been good. Like I said, this is a pretty chill. This is a chill stream for me. All of my focus for this week was really making sure that we have our topic for next week. Which, by the way, Mystic, you might want to tune in for that one. I know you have a pretty busy schedule yourself, but on Wednesday at 4 p.m., which is 8/7. Make sure I look at the dates again, because 8/7 at 4 p.m. we will be doing a topic which I already put in my community post, which I'm hoping that many people of the Caucasus of Mountains will show up. And the topic is going to be, how do white people experience racism? I think it's going to be a good conversation with a lot of people of that particular demographic and then what their experiences in dealing with it. Because quite frankly, there's so many other races that either they say that they can't be racist, or they don't think they can be racist, or quite frankly, they don't think that white people should feel a particular way about having racist antics thrown towards them, or how they experience this thing, or how they experience it being with friends and family. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of stuff. That I've actually pulled together, and I think people who showed up could be able to give their particular experiences, and then we, as other people, can be able to hear the experiences, formulate our own thoughts, and be able to know how we're going to interact with that, to get a new perspective outside of what we just assume takes place. And then after that show, I have another show coming up, which I will be reaching out to a couple of other people to see if they want to join that show as well, because if we're going to say things that we're going to want white people's perspective, it's only fair that we start looking at other demographics to see how they particularly feel about things as well. And then I'm going to knock out a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to try to knock out a whole bunch of stuff that I have sitting on my task list, because I always add new things to my notions, but I rarely knock things off of it. So I want to be able to do that, just so I can say that I'm getting some work done, that I'm chopping the tree down. You know what I mean? If you guys haven't noticed, I have been moving around. I've been moving around in different spaces. If you didn't catch me last night or early morning, whatever, I was out on Needle Nation. Just, I guess he was doing an after party stream for the quote debate between Glenn Lawrence and Fatty. And I gotta be honest, I didn't much care for the conversation. I know who both the creators are because I know both their channels or whatever. But he and I were just chopping it up for whatever, and we had a big conversation about our perspectives on like religion or just culture, and I gave my whole particular thing or whatever. So I thought that was a pretty a good stream. And then I was thinking about hopping up on someone else's panel, but it was like their Friday for like big like interactions, like pretty much war on panels, and I didn't really want to join that, mainly because I like to examine the people who actually show up on the channel so I can get to know how they are. So I didn't do that. But there were a few other channels in the quote the spaces that I've been looking at, reviewing, and joining, and it's just, I think to me it's a little interesting that when I join a panel, just how many people actually recognize me. And that's why I just say shout out to you guys. Thank you for you guys, because without me realizing it, it's coming to my attention that quite frankly you guys are helping me out in so many different ways. You know, I remember I popped on someone's channel before, and in the back chat he's asking me like, do I have a channel or anything, and I'm thinking he just asked me for a channel so that I can be able to, like, you know, post it or whatever in the chat. And he's like, no, I'm asking if you have a channel because there are a few people that actually know your name in the chat. And I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm a small fucking content creator, who the fuck would know who the hell I am, you know? But shout out to you guys, because there were a few of you who were in their actual channel. It's like, oh shit, I Resla. Oh, I know that guy. I know this guy from here. I know the guy from there. Yeah, nah, he's cool, whatever the case may be. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that because it really lends credence to the fact that we are not only in particular spaces, but also that we are willing to have the proper conversations that we can bring more people over to the Opinionated squad. You know what I mean? Because I think it's a good idea that we have people come over to the space where they can actually get an actual conversation. And over time, I do want to build the channel up to the point where they understand that this is a space where they can be able to speak their mind, not to be belligerent, but to gain understanding. Because quite frankly, let's be honest, we do go to a lot of spaces where we just go for entertainment, and let's be honest, fuckery, and not necessarily try to have it go to channels where we have an understanding to actually have real rational conversations, because we allow people to come in and totally fuck up the whole meaning of conversation. So shout out to Nino Nation. I was at him early in the morning, and we had a really good dialogue back and forth before that stream was ended. I will never go to Sexy Red at all. That is a straight fuckery channel. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Oh, let me not even say never. It is highly unlikely that I will end up on that channel at all. We already know what it's like there. I'm not doing that. And I've only seen a couple of her streams before she started migrating to other people's channels. That's no way I'm doing it. It's just debauchery. That's not what I want my name to be associated with. Sorry. Just not. There are people who I'm cool with, people who I'm not cool with. And I'm not saying I'm not cool with her, but she does engage in a lot of stuff that I'm uncomfortable with. And again, it may just mean that I need to engage with a little bit more of her content. But from the rhetoric, from the way that she speaks, from the way that she engages with particular people, I'm like, that doesn't seem like it. All of my instincts say you need to back up. Back up. All my instincts say I need to back up. Not shitting on her. Not shitting on her or anything. I just, Here's the thing. No, it's not that I'm not good for the fuckery. You have a plethora of channels. You don't need just another. You don't need DJ Khaled. Another one. You don't need another one. You got plenty of them. They're popping up like fucking weeds. Another one. I don't need to be just another one. Like, Because all of a sudden, you know what we're gonna say? Black people are only known for fuckery, and there are no fucking good channels for black people. Which means that any other channel that wants to have someone actually have a decent mind, you know what they're gonna say? Well, you can't go those black spaces because none of them have a good head on their shoulders, because they all deal with fuckery. There's no one that has a good, decent head on their shoulder. There's no one that talks decent. There's no one that has a salient mind. There's no one that makes problem points, because all their shit is based on oppression and fuckery. And then no one can ever take us seriously. If there needs to be at least one person serious, even if I got no numbers, I'll let it be me. If someone ever walked up to me and said, I think that you would be great to have another talk on the channel, I'll be sitting there like, why won't you talk to these other people? And then they know what they're gonna mention to me, right? Because they are another one. That's it. I think I would have a conversation with them, but then I've already seen all their tactics, and it goes back to fuckery. And I have to tell you this, but when it comes to seeing a lot, again, I've been watching a lot of channels. I've been watching white spaces. I've been watching Hispanic spaces. People don't even pay attention to the Hispanic spaces because white people only focus on black people. I mean, black people only focus on white people. They don't pay attention to the Spanish podcast channels that are out there. I've been now seeing Spanish podcast channels. And I'm like, oh, they actually talk about some sensible shit too. They actually talk about shit within their community. They actually talk about how other people look at them as well. I'm like, oh shit, that's interesting. Oh, I wonder what their perspective on this is. I see all that shit too. That doesn't happen on black people's channel, because black people either talk about black shit, ratchet shit, stupid shit, fuckery shit, or talk about white people. That like nothing else exists. And yet I'm experiencing now this. I'm getting exposed to so many different areas in YouTube, because YouTube is as big as the world itself. But the black spaces that we tend to congregate around, that we tend to circle around, doesn't understand that the YouTube is big. People who tend to circle the drain of where we're at don't understand that the world is large. The way how we in this black sector circle the drains is if we're all living in one state, and that one state is the entire globe, which is not a fact at all. I see people's fucking channels that are on the other side of the pond. They're nowhere in the US. I've been seeing people's channels that are in Canada. I've been seeing people's channels that are in fucking Venezuela. I've been seeing people's channels over in Europe. But let's be honest, one of the people that we see up in this quote black space that we like to circle around the drain on, he's in Portugal. But the rest of those other channels are here in the US of A. And I like watching Patty's channel. I think he has a great production. Production-wise, I think he's a great I think he's very innovative. He's got a great, strong team. I'm always looking at him, I'm laughing at, like, he's one of the people I actually would watch for entertainment. But that doesn't mean I don't see a lot of things where I go, whew, I wouldn't want to be the person who does that. He's got a great channel, great production, and apparently a strong crew that pulls up a lot of information for him. His Discord, for what I understand, all that stuff. But as far as seeing if I will be a person that want to be a part of that, whoo, I will say for his type of content, he's doing the job right. He's doing the job right. I got no problem with that. He's doing the job right. But as far as just making the fuckery a part of your life, that's not something I'm willing to do. And I know to a lot of black people, I'm just gonna put it that way, they're gonna be like, they'll be looking at me akin to saying, man, you just one of those corny dudes. I'll stay corny. It's better than being, I'll just get a DJ Khaled drop another one. Because you got a plethora of them. You don't need to see a fuckery show everywhere you go. Sometimes you need something a little different. Just saying. And if you don't understand that, shame on you. And if you can't respect that, fuck you. Like, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. What Discord? Which Discord are you talking about? I just think there's too many fuckery channels out there. That you're a dime a dozen. You're a dime a dozen. You're there's no nuance. You talk about the same shit all the time. There's nothing new. There's no fresh breath air. There's no fresh air. There's no breath of fresh air, I should say. Fuck me. Sorry, I've been drinking well before I came home. I haven't talked to him about it. I think if I spoke to him, he wouldn't have a problem letting me in. I think one of the reasons why I don't get on people's discords is because I don't follow discords. Even I have a discord, even though I know there's people who have discords. Okay, let me explain why. I don't get on discords because my phone itself, I've got so many. I have so many notifications that pop up on my phone, right? Between Instagram, between TikTok, between emails, between YouTube. I come to a point where I no longer look at my notifications because it's a fucking CVS receipt. So adding Discord, it's like, if someone really sent me a message or something like to say, again, so I hear you, but even if I turned it off, right? Let's just say someone talked to me, right? Someone sent me a personal message, someone wants to respond to something, whatever. I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see it unless I thought to myself, hey, let me check out Discord. I would never see it. Honestly, if it's not for the fact that I know when like the porch session goes live, you know, when the porch session goes live, or if there's other people, because most people, listen, I'll be honest with you, unless you're someone who I'm studying, you know what I don't do? Unless you're someone I'm cool with or someone I'm studying, you know what I don't do? I don't hit the subscriber bell to all. I'll be honest with you. If I rock with you, you get the subscriber bell to all. If I'm just studying you, you don't get my subscriber bell to all. And there are plenty of other content creators that I watch who, they're not even content creators, they're just live streamers. Let's be honest, they're just live streamers. They don't do videos, they just do live streams. And I don't have a problem with that. But there are some people who are live streamers that I don't hit the subscribers bell to all. I literally put them off notification. And if I just happen to click on my sidebar and see that they're on live, then I'll check out what they're doing. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Just because I get too many notifications about channels. So I'm like, the ones that I really think that I could learn something from, or the things I know that have particular conversations that I know that I could benefit from, or I can pay attention to someone's pretty much talking style, their points, or how would I think about it in a particular way, or if I need to jot down notes for myself as to how people think, because I'm a studier of people. That's the only way. That's the only way that you'll see me do that. Like the porch session, hands down, gets all my notifications. Gets all my notifications. Like LA gets all my notifications. No, OG gets all of my notifications, obviously. You know, Fatty, does Fatty get all my notifications? I want to say he does. I want to say that he does, because I do study his stuff. But there are plenty of content creators that they do not get my notification at all. They just don't. They just don't. And there are plenty of good content creators like The Business, or Jason Black. He doesn't get my notification at all. He doesn't even get my regular personalized notification. He gets it, no notifications. But if he's on and I just so happen to see that he's live, I'll go ahead and I check him out just to see what he's talking about. That's it. And the reason why I don't subscribe to a lot of people on notifications, because sometimes I just use my other channel. That's the only way I can get notifications. So I'll set my phone, like I'll sit down with you guys on my main channel, but I'll set my phone on my backup channel. And what I'll do is that I'll get all the notifications on my backup channel, so who's live. Because when I subscribe to too many of you guys on my main channel, it fucks up my algorithm. Not even gonna lie. So if I want to do research, if I want to look up stuff, if I'm thinking about particular things, if I want to get inspired by new topics, I'll never see them, because I'll just be honest, the plethora of my notifications from these channels that I subscribe to are full of dick and pussy conversations. And let's just say if I was single and a chick ever grabbed my phone and saw my main channel and looked at my fucking feed, she would think I was desperate for a relationship because she would see dick and pussy day in and day out on my fucking feed. Oh, he sleep? Let me go take a look at his phone. Oh, does man think this? Does women think that? Oh, either I think he's a misogynist or he really desperate for some box. Jesus Christ, look at all his notifications. Oh, this looks, oh, is man the prize? Oh, is women the prize? That's what they would see all fucking day long. Oh, this guy is toxic. He's toxic. He butthurt. And that's not my reality. You would see all of this bullshit sitting on my feed, and then you turn around and ask me, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. I'm in my relationship. I'm good. Why you got all these dick and pussy conversations and you in a relationship? I'm just like, that has nothing to do with me. That's just my fucking feed. You know what I love having all over my feed? Food. I love cooking stuff all over my feed. That's what I really enjoy having on my feed. Not politics, not dick and pussy, food. I like having food. I like having comedy, not in abundance of comedy, but I like having some comedy. I like that on my feed. I'm just saying. You said stop acting like I got Oh, I definitely don't got 10K friends. I am not one of those people. Oh, famous. I just read the rest of that. Famous. Get the fuck out of here. If ever, I am one of those people that if you went to my Facebook, you'd be like, oh, that's how many people he has on his. I'm not one of the people that turn around and say, I know I got 5,000 friends. I got 500 friends. I don't pretend to know anyone at all. You are little. I want to say after 7 people, you become an acquaintance. You become an acquaintance. We're okay. We're friendly. If we're friends, okay, cool, then we're friends. But most people are not friends. Most people that end up following me or we become linked to each other is because I knew you at some point during the business, or I knew you because we used to work with each other, but we were never really cool with each other, or you're an acquaintance of a friend of mine. I can't tell you how many people I run across and we meet for the first time. We sitting there and maybe one day we touch drinks with each other, and then here you are in my fucking, this is just your person. Do you know this person? I'm like, I don't know this person. And I leave them sitting up there. I don't even put yes or no to them. I just leave them sitting up there because I'm still contemplating, do I know this person? Do I really feel like I had a good enough conversation with this person that I want to add them to my friends list? Like, I'm really picky. I just don't sit, oh, I know I saw that person one time. Yes. Oh, that person, oh, I sat next to them in the train. They bumped up next to me. Yes. Oh, I saw this person at a party. Oh, I thought the perfume was good. Yes. Oh, this person, I ran across him and he said that my booty smelled nice. Yes. Like, I'm not, like, that's not me. When I see you as a suggested person or a person that's saying that they're asking for a friend's request, I'm mulling it over. You may sit in limbo for a good week for me deciding if you should be my fucking friend on Facebook. And here's the sad part about it. I'm not even on Facebook like that. The only reason why I'm on Facebook is so that people can just see that I'm still alive. Once in a while, I'll post something on Facebook just so people can understand that I'm still alive. That's it. Outside of that, I'm not on Facebook. So to go through all this fucking effort, and then you gonna say, did it happen to your friends? Look, I'm the same way for Instagram. You may sit in my Instagram for a fucking whole week before I sit there. I'm sitting in mulling like, do I really want them looking? Do I really want this person looking at my pictures? What if they're that one of those weirdos who just like everything that I fucking put up there? Do I really want that? Do I really want that person liking everything out? That's just weird. You know, I don't want people like, I want real, genuine opinions on if I post something, do they really like it because they're just on my friends list? Or do they really like it because they thought that my shit was really good? Like, I would rather someone who follows me who's a fucking stranger than someone to say, we met one day. Hey, you remember that one time? And we met outside of Starbucks and you petted my dog? You got Facebook? You know, like, who's Christina? Christina who? And I'm sitting there letting them mull over, and the person sent me a whole fucking message. You remember me? You met me outside of Starbucks, and you got the caramel macchiato, and I got the green tea, and you saw my dog, you pet my fucking dog, and I found you on fucking Facebook, and I thought we could be friends. I'm just going. Deny, decline. After a week of you been sitting there on pending. Decline. I'm sitting there mulling over. Do I trust this heifer? They went out of their way, by the way, to look me up. And we just had this weird, brief interaction with each other. Do I really? They could be a stalker for all I know. For all I like I feel that way about a chick that just all of a sudden you may know, you know, Stacy so and so, and I'm going, who's Stacy so and so? Oh, let's look at Stacy. Oh, let's look at Stacy's pictures. Where I know Stacy from? Did I run across Stacy? Because the way how your phone works, you don't know if you were just in the vicinity of this person. Maybe you guys were riding on the same train, or maybe you guys sat down in the same building somewhere or whatever. Like, you never know. And you sitting there like, who the fuck is Stacy? And you're looking like, damn, Stacy, damn, Stacy got a nice body. Shit, Stacy. And Stacy want to become a friend of mine? Shit, Stacy look fucking fine. Fuck me, damn, Stacy. What do I know, Stacy? We got a mutual friend. Your mutual friend is my girl. Oh, nope, Stacy. Decline, Stacy. What? Huh? Denied. Exactly. Denied. No, Stacy. That is a negative. Can't do it. Can't do it. Stacy had a fine ass body, but I just see my mutual friend as my girl. Can't do it. You are denied. You are excommunicado. Excommunicado, Stacy. In fact, you are not. You are so far excommunicado that if my girl says, "Hey, I'm going out. How do I look?" and I'm like, "Look good. Who you hanging out with?" "Oh, you remember my friend Stacy?" I don't know what bitch you talking about. Stacy who? I don't know no bitch no Stacy. I talked to you about Stacy before. I don't know no bitch no Stacy. I don't remember no Stacy. I don't remember no bitch no Stacy. You sure? You remember what happened when we met Stacy at that party? I don't know who the fuck you talking about. Babe, I don't remember who the fuck Stacy was. I never met a Stacy in my life. I never met a bitch named Stacy in my life. Oh, I met plenty of Stacy. I never bitch Stacy in my life. Never. Who the fuck you talking about? Stacy who? Let me show you a picture. I don't even see a picture of this heifer. I don't know who the fuck Stacy is. Don't show me a picture of her. I don't care. Go out, have a good time. Fuck. Stacy? Fuck Stacy. Fuck Stacy. Let me make sure that the bitch is declined. Okay, this bitch is declined. Just saying. She got a fine ass body though. Just saying. Is that wrong on me? Is that wrong? Yvette, you laughing? Why? Why? Am I not shown to be great in my relationship? Am I not shown to be a good partner? Why are you laughing? No, we absolutely should not call Stacy. No, there absolutely will not be a story. By the way, Stacy's black. But I'm just saying, there's no story there. No story. I'm just saying. You said essential? It's it's essential for division, yes. But is that a good thing? Is the I guess the question is divided is being divided a good thing? Because how does one stay divided in a multicultural country? Well, fuck multicultural country. How do you stay divided in a world that already knows that each other exists? I mean, it's just hard to keep devils out of it's hard to keep like devils out of like freaking heaven right now, just so they can make sure that they don't claim any more of angels out there. Because you know what they might say to the angels. Oh, girl, come here, girl. They might be standing outside the gates. Come on, you might want some of this. Like, oh no, I'm good here in the Silver City. I like my wings. Like I like your wings too. You sure you don't want to come out here? No, we're good. Girl, you know in the Silver City, y'all just do a missionary shit. Y'all don't really get down. Get down how? I mean, we do it anal and everything out here. It's like, you ever got a little spanky before? Like, sir, you are too much. I haven't been spanked in a long time. I haven't spanked since I was a child. That's the problem. You can't get spanked in the Silver City. Don't you remember how good it felt to be spanked? Like, don't you try to tempt me, demon. Yeah, but I'm a demon for you, girl. Just for you, girl. You know they gonna get all the angels out of the Silver City. Just saying. All the temptress, desire demons. This is the reason why like they keep pulling them out from the Silver City. Just saying. Stacy's mom is really old in those pictures, so no, she don't got it going on. She don't. Stacy look nice. Stacy got a nice little body. Stacy know how to whine, but I don't know who Stacy is. Just saying. I don't know who Stacy is. Stacy does not get a friend invite. She does not get the acknowledgement for her friend's request because we are not friends. We're not friends. We are not friends. Just saying. I choose my friends. You are not one of them. And I'm okay with that. It, exactly. Never heard of her. Never heard of her. Stacy who? Never heard of her. But we just talked about her. You met her before. Don't remember her. You know I'm be giving a fuck about your friends. I don't know who the fuck Stacy was. She was the one that you two you two sat and you to drink with. I said I was just filling in time. I was staring at the wall. I wasn't even looking at this bitch. You had a whole conversation with her. I have conversation with all kind of people. You know this. I didn't even know her fucking name. I don't remember what the bitch looked like. In fact, when she was talking, all her was wah 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 wah. Like what's up? I really wasn't paying attention to her. All because I have to make it abundantly clear in case somehow she goes hang with Stacey. She says, because the kids was something I already know right off the bat. You know what Stacey's not gonna do? Stacey's not gonna say to my girl, "How you doing, girl? Yeah, what's up? Hey, our friends requested your man. Why he hasn't accepted it yet? That's never gonna come up. That's never going to come up at all. At all. Not even a little bit. So I know I'm fine in my rejection. Wait, what? Exactly. Hey. It's CCD, depending on who you are, depending on what pose you actually like, I might have women that might be people who are part of my friends list that might be like, so, I saw this guy CCD. He was liking your man's post. What's up with that? They were like, I don't know. He got a lot of people that just they might like his post. But who was this guy who liked this post though? I don't know, girl. Why you checking me on why somebody else liked my man's post? I don't get it. It's like, I don't know, girl. I'm just saying why this man was liking your man's post. It just seemed weird to me. women out there, they just always trying to make somebody gay. When they just be honest with you, let's just be honest. They just want to get on your girl's case so that they want you. That's all. No, my girl comes to me. She feel like, how did this other girl is asking me why some guy was liking your post? I say, oh yeah. So what you say about that? I don't know. You know what to say about that? I said, no, you should have questioned her more about that. Because maybe she was trying to suggest something so that you can have a question in your head, so that you can get into an argument with me, so that the opening will be there, the door will crack open, so that she can slide through. I'm just saying. Just saying. You don't recognize the game, girl? You don't recognize it? See, instead of her asking, why did CCD block my post, and telling you, what you should have said was, bitch, mind your business. Mind your fucking business. Don't talk about what's happening with my man's post. Poke a right outside the head. My fucking man's post. That's what you should have did. But you didn't. I get it. You're a Christian woman. You don't like to fight. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. I forgive you. I don't expect you to throw down instantly when somebody mentions your man. I get it. We're good. You're saying. I'm just saying, if you come up with a source of discussion, I ain't got nothing to say. I just chill back with my drink. And that'd be the end of that. Yo, that's a fact. Zoomer, you're absolutely right. I hope I hope my Twitter never sinks. You will never see me. You will probably never see me screenshot or do a window capture of my Twitter. My Twitter is full of artistic pictures from a lot of photographers. Very photographic and inspiring images from photographers all over the country. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's it. Posting their finest works from their perspectives. And I got nothing to say about that. And I just believe that those fine arts and those fine works and those fine postings that they put up were just meant for me. They weren't meant for me to share to the rest of you. Elon's not going to expose me. I haven't done anything wrong. In fact, Elon's definitely not going to expose me because I don't even have a check mark. I ain't paid for it. I ain't going to pay for no check mark. He'll have to bestow a check mark upon my ass. I ain't paying for it. I'm just saying. Wait, what? Said, is that fight worthy, really? A broken human acting as if they're trying to break into just see it as a mech. What? Wait. Where did that come from? Where did that comment come from? User, you gotta let me know where that comment came from. But why say that? Sir, if I had a whole bunch of postings come up that said that that were a bunch of pictures of, let's just say, suggestive pictures, and there was AI, am I a womanizer? Would I be a womanizer if suggested pictures that popped up somehow on a profile was AI generated? Am I a womanizer? Because I would have to ask if the AI identified itself as female. And if it did, we have a big problem on our hand. That's very much self-awareness. That's self-awareness. Just saying. That is self-awareness. That is a problem. That's a problem waiting to happen. What bit of sarcasm? I have no idea what you mean. No idea what you mean. I have. I'm just saying. The whole diatribe about Stacy is about the fact that I am a faithful man, and I'll even go too far as to how some people will say black men don't cheat, and that I am one who is willing to dismiss random apostates from entering my friends list because I don't believe that everybody who's in Facebook who you are acquainted with should be a part of your friends list. Sometimes friends of friends should just say that and they shouldn't bother asking for a request. That was part of my diatribe. Just saying. Not worthy. Because you don't know who the person who recognized who that person's interacting with you may feel. I don't even open that up because I believe in peace in one's life. Peace. Peace. Just saying. I like peace. Guys, has anyone been paying attention about what's been going on with this whole okay, let me just say this just to get it out there, right? People have been talking about freaking Kamala Harris, and I'm so sick of this. I don't even care anymore. Until we get more defended, until I see an actual real blown out debate, I don't really care what's going on with Kamala Harris. But I was watching part of, because I didn't watch all of it, the last interview that Trump was on when he was speaking with these nasty ass journalists who started bombarding him with a whole bunch of questions. And he mentioned basically that until recently he didn't even know that Kamala had started introducing herself as being black. Now, that's the one of the things that I said a while back, and I think I said it even on Nino's channel, was like, I didn't even know who the fuck Kamala Harris was until she started running, in elections. I didn't know who she was. I don't live in fucking California. Why the fuck would I give a shit? So if she was saying that she was fucking Indian for a while, and a guy who travels all over the world, he only has ever had heard of her by happenstance through back channels, never actually interact with her, I don't think that what he said was a bad thing. But when I saw the interview or whatever I could watch of it, and I saw all these black people pretty much going after him, I just said, oh, I think this is disgusting. Why the fuck did he even show up for such a thing? I don't even know why, but it is what it is. Does anyone else feel like he was being disingenuous when he stated that he didn't know, or rather it was an unfair misrepresentation of Kamala Harris when he said he didn't even know who she was, and that she may have been proclaiming to be black only when he recognized who she was? What? Oh no, no sir, no sir. And you talking about getting a picture with the shirt off? No, no, no. Because the internet's forever, sir. The internet is forever. Because what's gonna happen one time and just say they're chilling with each other, whatever, and it's just like she starts giggling. You know how you girls do it. And it's like, what's so funny? Just this picture. Just this picture. What picture is that? So, don't get mad at me, but this is a picture of your man. No, no, CCD, you messy as shit. No, I agree. He thought Kamala was gonna be there, and when he realized that she wasn't gonna be there, you know what he should have did? Packed his shit up and dipped. But instead, he had like 3 motherfuckers sitting there questioning him and being awfully rude. By the way, this is a former president. He deserves a little bit of respect, just a little bit. Just being able to land in office, and they just came out with all flamethrowers. You know. Let's just see. You said, do you need a debate Trump has? Wait, do you need a debate Trump has clearly stated his intentions at this point? If you don't know what you're voting for, please do not vote. I mean, Trump has been clear enough about his intentions. I agree. I agree with that. Regardless, very clear. I agree. If you already made your decision about who you want to vote for, just vote for them. That's it. I'm not one. I would never be one to tell you who you should and should not vote for. I know, like religion, people tend to believe that they should tell you who you should vote for because they want to mention everybody else's downfall as to why you shouldn't vote for. I still hear people saying dumb shit like, "You shouldn't vote for Trump because he said he grabs women by the pussy." And I'm like, bitch, if I grabbed you by the pussy right now, how would you feel? She's like, um, um, I just, I think, no, 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 time to go. Like, no, bitch, come back over here. Come back here. Don't run away. Don't black out on me. Answer the question. So the fact that we have people that still drum on shit that's been way back when, rather than you've already seen how both people have interacted at least for 4 years. You make whatever decision that you want to make. I'm not here to debate whether you want to vote liberal or vote Democrat. I should say, let me take that back, not liberal. Whether you want to vote Democrat or whether you want to vote Republican. I'm trying to say conservative, but vote Republican. You do you. I'm not here to sway your vote. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm not a or any of that shit. You do whatever the fuck you gotta do. The better whoever the victor is gonna win. Because to be honest with you, I'm gonna make moves however I'm gonna move. However I'm gonna move in the world. It's not. If you honestly believe that Kamala Harris, if she wins, is gonna make a big determining factor on my life, it's not. And if you believe that if Trump wins, he's gonna make a big determining factor in my life, you're wrong. That's just me personally. I have never met a president who's been in office that has been a determining factor in my life as to where shit was gonna be moving. I cannot say that because Biden has been in office, I could not put food on my table. That because Obama was in office, I couldn't put food on my table. That Trump was in office, I couldn't put food on my table. All the way back to when I was able to first vote. Like, I have so much more pressing shit on my mind than to worry about who's going to be in office. And that's just me. A lot of people don't feel that way because they like being a part of what I call the dog and pony show. They love the bread and circus. And it's not appealing to me. I think it's my civic duty to listen and to understand, but to become heavily invested in something that just, quite frankly, doesn't really shatter or shake my life. That's how I feel. Not everybody feels the same way. Some people feel like, well, you should because it's gonna do. Never did. Well, you should because neither did any of the other people. Unless somebody gets into power where they literally are getting people to come to my door and knock down the fucking door to drag me out my fucking house, I'm not worried about it. Well, they coulda, woulda, shoulda. Hasn't happened. Had never been a thing that actually happened. Until it happens, there's nothing to talk about. That's it. I don't work off of fear mongering. I don't do none of that shit. Oh, the LGBTQ. What's that got to do with me? I'm not. I'm not a lesbian. I'm not gay. I'm not bi. I'm not freaking queer. I'm not whatever the fuck the plus is. I'm not. None of that bothers me. None of that bothers me. Democrats don't bother me. Republicans don't bother me. None of shit bother me. How much I have to pay for bread and do I make enough money to be able to pay for bread is the thing that matters to me. Plain and simple. You should care more about. No, you can sit on their nutsacks all you want, or rather, sit at their clit. At this point, it just doesn't. It doesn't define who I am. It doesn't define what I have to go through. It really doesn't. I get it. Some people like to look at these politicians as modern day gladiators, but at the same token, look at them and say that they're dumb motherfuckers. Take your pick. Either you're a fan of them or you're not. But I can't get dragged into it. Because if you want it better, you would vote better. But most people don't know how to vote properly, or most people don't vote at all. So you get what you paid for. Or rather, you get what you vote for, or didn't vote for, whatever. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. That's my personal assessment. You don't have to agree. It's your opinion. Is what it is. You say, you can say it's about information, but is it really? Is it really? Is it information that's really earth-shattering? Is it really earth-shattering? And again, I'm not even asking you whether you vote, whether you want to go for Trump or whether you want to go for Kamala. I'm just saying people got there however they got there. People can get mad at how they got there. The political world is really not much a difference from the business world. You have brown nosers, you have people that slept their way to the top, you have people that did backhanded deals, you have people who sold other people out. It's no different. It's no different. The only difference between, quote, the political world is, quote, the voting process, and let's be honest, that even we know that's a bit rigged. So it doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter even what happens to you. It matters how you respond to it. So when you get all these people that start talking about all this other shit, we gonna vote this way, we gonna vote that way, and we gonna change the laws this way, we gonna change the laws this way. If you're good because of the actions that you make, because rich kids, the truth of the matter, wealthy people are not worried about the laws that are changed. That's not to say I'm wealthy. I'm not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. I am not one of these people on YouTube talking about I am a 6-figure earner. I am a trillionaire, millionaire, billionaire. I got hoes. I am nowhere in that demographic whatsoever. But I can't be confined as to what's going on to people who are put in a position that really has nothing to do with me. I can't worry about Kamala Harris when I had nothing to do with the fact that she got put into office. She got thrown onto a ticket that I couldn't do anything about because I am one person. I'm not a nation. That's it. Is it though? So you say, but if you haven't formed a solid opinion of Trump in 8 years, regardless of what, then that's nuts. It's clearly given enough information. Again, I think we need to also be aware of when we say opinions, right? Because opinions are assholes. Everybody got them. But opinions change all the time. And people say shit all the time, but we have to judge people on their actions, not by what they say. That's the truth of the matter. You know what? And I'm going to just say this, right? I'm going to say this right. We can talk about the Taliban all we wanted. We can talk about Bin Laden sending all his tapes, all that he wanted. But let's be honest, Bin Laden never showed up to do anything himself. He just sent a whole bunch of tapes saying, I'm gonna fuck you up when I see you. He never actually did anything himself. I don't worry about what people say. I judge people by their actions. Your actions speak louder than words. So I worry about the policies being put into place and the deals that they made to be able to get things done, or what terrorists they take out and how they protect America, or how they protect our troops or whatever. Those are the things that matter to me. what they said to get there doesn't matter to me, because people will say anything to put themselves in the seat. Once they're in the driver's seat is what's important. That's it. If I lied, if I lied to get the person who had the most money into a drag race with me, and downplayed my car, or talk shit about how great my car was, and the truth of the matter that I'm just better at the fucking course than they are, and I whooped their ass in my little Honda Civic and they had a souped up fucking Charger. If I lied and did everything I had to do to get in that position to win, you can say I'm a piece of shit all you want. But if my results speak that I did everything I did and I won and I could do better, everything I'm beyond that, that's all that matters. I hate to say this, but this is the issue that I made when it came to black people and their feelings. And actually, I said this in Needle Nation. You know what? Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it, I could probably explain to you better than. Because I think if I try to explain to you right now, like right now, I may not be able to articulate it as best as I did. Let's see if I can find his last stream, his last.
Make a determination.
So let's see.
To me, that God exists, because I have a problem with the idea of just proving fake. A lot of people.
All right, so let me try to explain it. Because I realized I was there for a while. So the position that I kind of put out there for people was basically like, shit, I'm losing my point already. Damn, I lost my whole fucking point. What the fuck was I just saying a moment ago? Hold on. Okay, so now I remember. So if we talk about people, like, I'll just mention the black community, because that was the point that I was making on Nino's show. And the point that I was making is, when it comes to black community, it seems like they want a god, because quite frankly, they will contest against people who put up actual tangible evidence of success. And the point that I was making to Nino was the concept of black excellence. And I did this on a former stream before as well. And the issue with the premise of black excellence is that you burn yourself out, you do other stuff, but then too many black people work on their feelings. You know, they'll mention like, oh, Beyonce, Jay-Z, they're of black excellence. But then if Jay-Z cheats or whatever, oh, he's the trash or whatever. No. Oh, R. Kelly, but then R. Kelly's, got women trapped up in the closet or peeing on girls or whatever. Oh, but no R. Kelly. Then they'll turn around and say, oh, well, we love Chris Brown, but oh no, Chris Brown hit Rihanna. And then, oh, we not gonna claim Drake because Drake is part Jewish or whatever. There's always a goalpost to move. Part of the people that I mentioned, it was like I had this talk with John the Baptist, actually, I believe on that stream. We mentioned, like, I think he mentioned Clarence Thomas, and I mentioned I forgot his fucking name. Right? I always forget his name. I'm trying to remember. But he mentioned Clarence Thomas, and basically, people will get mad because they're like, oh, well, Clarence Thomas voted for all these different things. I don't like him. I don't think of him as black excellence. And I'm like, you're a fucking fool. He's a Supreme Court justice. I don't give a fuck how you feel about how he got there. He's sitting in a prominent position. Like, are you fucking serious? He made it. I don't want to hear about your feelings. He has a result. And I think that's a big problem when it comes to things. So people say shit all over the campaign trail is what I'm saying. Because one of the things that we say all the time with people on the campaign trail, or what the things that come out their mouth, is that they promise all of this shit and then they don't deliver when they're actually in office. We say that all of the time. How many people have said shit throughout the primaries and everything else, and they get into office and they don't deliver? all the time it happens. Are we really gonna judge what Trump says? I think what his actions is better than what his words are, because we hear all this shit that Obama did, and Obama didn't really do really anything that he said until he got to the end where he did shit for LGBTQ. But for those 8 years, it wasn't until his last year where he really did something where he evolved. You know, Biden's already gone through his 4 years. He's not gonna go through re-election. You know, is he gonna forgive student loan? You know, that was something he ran on. I highly doubt it. Student loan forgiveness is not there. So what you say doesn't matter. It's what you do that matters. People lie all the time to get what they have. In fact, let's just go take it to the dick and pussy conversation. Dudes lie to get into the draws all the time. Women lie to get the magic stick when they want it. They say all this, I'm gonna fuck your life up. This pussy is magical. I'm gonna fuck your life up. You gonna be addicted. This wop, you stick it in, it comes out soggy. They say all this bullshit. All of this bullshit they say. Nowhere ready. Like dead ass. You know that. People do this all the time. I can't tell you how many people that they talk shit. You can look at a political figure. You can look at your mom and dad. You can look at people that you're mating and dating in the future. I can't tell you how many girls I done ran across, and they're like, I'm gonna fuck your life up. And then they sitting there. Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. I mean, it is what it is. People are just like that across the board. People talk shit all the time. People talk shit or make false promises all the time. I'm not gonna get mad at it. Again, if you don't have anyone else to compete, it is what it is. It is what it is. They didn't want him the first time. They didn't want him the first time. But if you win, you win. If you're in the gladiator pit and you're the last gladiator standing, the crowd may boo you, but it doesn't stop the fact that you won. Your tactics were dirty. You may have thrown dirt in the eye and everything, but if you won at the end of the day, your party, the whole crowd may boo you, throw cabbage, throw fucking tomatoes, stale bread, whatever. If you won, you won. That's it. Again, if you can get out of your feelings, this is why I say to people, miss me with that whole not my president shit. Miss me with it. You lost. It's your president. That's it. You don't have to like it. Sit there and take it. Take it. Because there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to have to sit there and take it. I don't get mad. I don't get mad if someone I vote for doesn't win. I really don't. I don't even understand to y'all who do. Because there are plenty of people who vote who say it doesn't matter who wins. And to me, it's just like, whoever wins, they're not going to be able to give you everything that they promised in the first place. When I see people get into office, I always have the same mindset of, let's see if I become pleasantly surprised. Majority of the times, I am not. Just being honest, most of the time I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised if shit actually is worse. I don't bitch and complain because, quite frankly, I didn't run for office. I'm a spectator. Spectators You have no say so over people who hold the trophy. If you're really not happy about what happens in politics, you need to become a political figure. And if that seems like too much of a large margin for you, you know what you're gonna have to do, right? Shut the hell up. I say that to my friends. I say that to my family. There are no armchair quarterbacks to people who have power. It's easy for you to talk shit about what you would do, but you don't put in the work into those who actually do put in the work and they wind up in positions of power. It's easy for you to be an armchair quarterback and talk about what you would do in order to win the Stanley Cup versus those that do all the work and they're the ones hosting the trophy. And again, it's not a personal slight at you, user, but there are plenty of people who say what's wrong or why people don't do this or why they would do that, or if you look at this or if you look at that, and I just go, all you doing is looking. They're the ones doing at the end of the day. Doers get more done. Sayers just talk. And if you're in a position to criticize, all you're in the position to do is talk. It doesn't change anything to those who are actually able to effectively get shit done. Whether you want to say Trump or whether you want to say Kamala. It's easy to sit back and talk shit. It's harder to do the work. I said that I said this on Nino's platform. I said that on Nino's platform. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. You got to get the fuck out the frame. You got to get the fuck out the frame. Because you can get mad and say that you voted, but you're one person. You have to hope that everybody else votes in your interest. You're one person among millions, if not billions. You're one person. People say, my vote matters. Does it? The majority's vote matter, not just your vote. You don't speak for millions. You align with millions. You don't speak for them. And I think that we lose track of that. We lose track of perspective. And that's just what it is. Yo, LA, what's good? Like, we lose track of that. I don't think many people dive into reality when they think about where their stations are when it comes to power. We like to believe that we have more options than we really do. And they will battle other people who don't have options as well. And for what? You want to argue with people who are also powerless. And I would say you don't want these people who are going into general elections. Then here's what you should have done. You should have did a better job. And you and every other person that thought about the same way should have done a better job in their local elections. But guess what? It's also a majority rule on that too. So what can you do about it? Unless you decide to become a participant. Not in the voting process, but in the running. And there's nothing stopping you. As long as you're an American, you have age, you qualify. You qualify. Let me say that again. You qualify. Didn't say you had to be in politics. Didn't say you had to be a CEO, a large entrepreneur. Didn't say, just gotta be American. Gotta meet your age requirement. Even while it doesn't necessarily say you should probably have a wife and kids. Even though doesn't necessarily say that it's a must. But you qualify. It's easy to talk shit. If you really care, put yourself in position. That's just what I say. I can tell you, I don't care enough. That's why I don't put myself in position. I think it's a hard enough job just trying to survive. I can't spend my life pandering to people because it's just not in my character's nature. I don't have it in me to lie for a living. That doesn't make me a good person. It just makes me lazy, I guess. It takes a lot of effort to lie to everybody all the time. and keep it straight. That's it. You can call it wrong if you want to, but it is what it is. But complaining about the actions of somebody else in power that, quite frankly, other people put them in place. I mean, I'm being very rational with it. I didn't say you can't see wrong, but you can't do shit about it because you didn't put yourself in the position to make sure that things went right. You bitching about what someone else got to do when, quite frankly, they put themselves in a position and you didn't. You don't have that. You don't have the right. You can complain all you want. You have no power in that. If you were really worried about how the nation was working its way out throughout the world, you would put yourself in position. That's a rational statement. Plain and simple. That's a rational response. Whether it's feasible is not the part of the argument. It's a rational response. It's not a false argument to say that you didn't place yourself in position. And whining doesn't help. I finished just doing a whole stream, what was the last week, about logical fallacies. That's one of them. Like, not for nothing. That is rational. You can have a viewpoint all that you like, but your viewpoint doesn't shape the narrative of what they're going for. It doesn't. Unless you're a billionaire and you put money into them and you said that they're going for your interest, but if you didn't make yourself a millionaire, you just want to complain that they're not doing what the thing that you would like them to do, that's your fault. Because one of the things I talk about all the time is being intentional and paying attention. If you were being intentional, you would have put yourself in a position to be able to help influence these damn politicians. Or you would have put yourself in a position to try to sway so many other people, because there were plenty of cult leaders or activist leaders who would turn around and put positions to be able to get what they need. Because if we can't say that's not the case when we have all these, quote, minority divisions who turn around and get benefits or get laws put into place. We cannot say that's not a thing. We are terrible at math here. We're terrible at math, because the truth of the matter is that it seems like the minority rule, not the majority. We as a nation are bad at math. Guess what? Critiques are not contributions. Critiques are just opinions. Because if your critiques don't make change, that's exactly what they are, opinions. They don't sway. Critiques many people did for the LGBT, for the community. Critiques is what they did for gay marriage. It didn't matter. They still push forward because the actions of what these people put into place were the things that mattered. Don't ask, don't tell, and everybody's fucking in a position on it. Didn't matter compared to all the actions that they put in place in their dollars and their marchings and the people that they elected to put into place because of their dollars that got them the fucking rights. That's what matters. People sitting back and talking shit about what they don't like doesn't matter. Really? The education system disagrees with me when people are sitting there with their kids and their kids in education right now who don't even have a fucking say of whether their kids are taking fucking hormonal drugs, gender altering drugs. They would disagree with me? Are you sure about that? Your kids are not even your kids now. Your kids can turn around and take body altering drugs without consent of parents. You say education would disagree? Are you serious? Are you serious? You can really say that? You can really state that. Oh, am I bugging? Are we really gonna say we're really gonna civilization across the globe that's accepting this now? Civilizations. And you can say historical. Guess what? Used to bees don't make no honey. Historical context doesn't matter because the world always changes. Let me say it again for you and for everybody in the background that might be listening. Used to bees don't make no honey. It doesn't matter what used to happen. What's happening now is the thing that matters. Clinging to the past doesn't help you what's happening now. And it doesn't help you what's going on in the fucking future. It doesn't matter. What are we saying? Arguing with human history? Yes, we can absolutely argue with human history. That's how we got to the point that we are now, because people argue with human history. That's how we got here. That is exactly how we got here, because people argue with human history. This is why we can have people who are gay sitting in the fucking front pews of fucking Christianity churches. Because they argued history. What are we saying? Are we really going to be so closed-minded to say that, and I'm not even trying to say that you're being closed-minded, but are we really going to try to pull up the narrative of trying to say that because of history, like history doesn't change? In fact, the very mindset you probably hold today has been changed because history wasn't like that from the time from when you adopted it. Because there are people who are older than you that said that your mindset was wrong. That's the way how all generations run. I don't know why we're pretending that's not a thing. We're not still living in freaking AD. We're not living in BC. We're living in AD. If things didn't change throughout human history, we'd be still living in freaking BC. We live in AD. After. Time has continuously changed. Fuck the fact that we're sitting in technology now proves how much it changed. What are we saying here? The fact that me that has to sit here and could talk to you as a black man and not have to worry about whether my mask is about to crack them up in the back just shows how much the history's changed. Yes, I'm definitely arguing human history. Because everything that's sitting around us today, everything that you touch right now today, the clothes that we're fucking wearing and how it got made and everything, proves that. Proves it all. It's how? How is it not the same? Don't start your shit. No, they haven't. How? You're literally talking to me over the internet. That does not mean that they're the same. Christians are not the same. Jews are not the same. Arabs are not the same. Muslims are not the same. Countries are not the same. Governments are not the same. What are we saying here? Time changes all. You're bugging by saying we haven't changed. The fact that you're even able to communicate with me in this way proves how much we changed. No, it's not an absolute argument. It's literally, you can look at change in the world. You can literally open your eyes, move the fuck around, and see the world today. You're not still pushing a cot. What are we saying? How can you say that the human beings are still the same? We're not. If that's the case, you wouldn't have so many blasphemers today. You wouldn't. Because you would be stoned. We don't do stonings no more. Guess what? Human beings have changed to say that they value life enough that they won't stone. We have plenty of thieves today. People are not getting their hands taken off. Technology has brought us up to that. You don't run across fucking leprosy in the damn street on a daily basis. Human beings have changed. Gays are allowed to be out in the open. Human beings have changed. What are we saying here? Those are not false arguments. Those were equivalent facts. Those are facts. It's crazy to close your mind to it and say that they're not facts. You can open your mind, see the world that you are living in today. And you can see that. What are we saying here? Human nature stays the same, but humans are still fucking humans. And times have changed the way how humans think. Because humans don't think the same way they used to be. What are we saying here? If humans never changed, then humans will be so rigid throughout the rest of their life and they would never adopt change. Because of the way how human beings are, and because they're able to garner perspectives, and because they're able to adapt, that's how we got to the way that we are now. Obviously emphasizing change. If humans never changed, they would not be able to adapt. Oh, how are we losing that small nugget of animals don't change. Human beings have the most fucking rarest of perspectives, the most rarest of fucking of thought process. Animals, regardless of how long they've been on this fucking planet with us, those things don't change. But human beings have imaginations and been able to foster so many different things to take us from what we consider at the fucking low level of the food chain to a fucking high level of the food chain. We don't change to be able to live a longer fucking lifespan than we've ever lived. We don't change to be able to build civilizations, to be able to get with each other, and we're not sitting there fucking. We don't change. You can see the world. You can touch it. You can touch your keyboard, your mouse, whatever, and you don't think that the world hasn't changed. Are we willfully being ignorant? You may not like the way how the world has turned out, or even how human beings are today, but you're not going to see that civilization has not changed. If civilization didn't change, I would still be taking a whip to the back like my great granddaddy. What are we saying here? Well, what are we saying here? Really? I've never shown my freedom papers to no one. Not one day. Slavery is here today. I've never shown my freedom papers. Where my freedom papers at? I's not free, boss? Shit. I's not free? I didn't go to schools? Not a one day, boss? Shit. I didn't know about that cotton gin, boss. I weeded all myself, boss. What are we saying here? No, I have a worldly perspective because everywhere around the world has changed. Everywhere around the world has changed. Oh, America. So they don't have any industrialized nations everywhere outside the fucking US? Huh? What? Huh? The fact that you're talking, even if you're not in the country, let's just say an American perspective, let's just say you're not in the country. The fact that you're able to be online and talk to me in real time, civilization hasn't changed. Communication, telecommunication across the globe hasn't, huh? Time zones? What? That's not a sign of civilization changing? You ever taken an aspirin any time in your life, sir? That's not a sign of science and scientific and freaking civilization changing? What? Ever taken a train anywhere in your life? A bus any time in your life? Ever driven in a car any time in your life? That's not a sign of civilization changing? Huh? What? What are we saying here? Any day of the week you can go ahead, you can grab your passport and you can become a fuckboy in other people's countries in a day? That's not a change in civilization? Huh? What? What are we saying here? I never had to worry about getting to work And through my entire travel to work, had to go, way in the world with the children. Never. Never. What are we saying here? I never had to be forced to the back of the bus. What are we selling? Actuals today? Sir, stop it. Come on now. What are we doing? Not true at all. Maybe there are people that just, they believe that it's okay for them to live in oppression, that they just want to stay clinging to something. It's okay because they just feel, there are people that just, like, I'm not even going to say it's you, but there are people who just feel as if they're not happy unless they're miserable. They're not happy unless they have a boogeyman. What's the saying? What's the drop time? There's a white boogeyman under every can of grape soda and in every bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Like, what are we doing here? And you make my point. All of my earlier content was about what? Race-based spaces, guys, and humans change. How is that a get real? I challenge people that turn around and still say that they're still stuck in the past, but they never once have had that freedom papers, never once got fucking hung, never once got lynched, never once got fucking whipped to the back, wearing common clothes, being on social media, can drink a fucking latte and order on fucking Starbucks like anyone else. What oppression? Sitting there fucking working a good job, by the way. But sitting there and talking about the white man. Where? I don't play the oppression Olympics. I don't do it. I don't do it. That's the favorite theme. But the white man. No, I'm not doing that. I say to people all the time, why the fuck you don't spread out? And if you don't like it, move. That's the best thing about human beings. We've done this throughout human history. If you didn't like where you were at, you pick up your fucking feet and you go that away. That away. Pick a direction and you know what you do? You left, right, left. You can do that. So people who feel stuck because they can't move forward, the people that believe that they are oppressed because they can't move anywhere unless they only have to factor in their own race, are the people that believe in that. I've gotten up pretty high in my fucking areas, and I've been celebrated and actually passed for by plenty of people, both white, both black, and fucking Hispanic as well. And I never had to worry about just a black person raising me up. I've had multiple different ethnicities raise my ass up. We're not doing that here. That's bullshit. Because it's about, first of all, we're not children. We're not going to start our sentences on because. Because is what we give to teenagers. And we still have to straighten them up. If, ands, buts, sure. Because we're not doing that. No one has held me back. No one has held me back except me. Because I'm the only person that ever had to look in the mirror and keep myself accountable. I don't need other people to keep me accountable. I need to keep myself accountable for the shit that I do. That's it. I don't worry about nobody else. Nobody else. I never let anyone hold me back because, quote, my skin tone. I wish somebody at work, when I sit there in front of all these people and have to fight them over racial disparity and fucking DEI, look at me in my face and say the words nigga ever. Not ever has to happen with me. But you want me to believe that I've been held back or that other people being held back? No, you choose to be a victim, which is why you're being held back. You're choosing to be a victim. And if you're okay with if you're okay because you want to be a victim, you be that. You be that. What was the song? I be that. I be that. That's, you want to be a victim? Be a victim. That's not me. From my girl to my family to my friends, they see me right across the ranks and they just go, I can't believe it. Why the fuck are you? Why the fuck are you? Unfortunately, Marcus, I didn't do StreamYard today. So I don't have a link to drop. But I don't let racists. You know what? Hold up. Let me see if I can put something together for a link, because I'm willing to have these conversations. And user, you can even come up if you want to. If I get this shit going. So let me do this. But I'm not gonna say and be like I couldn't get up because no. Well, you were sitting there talking about people being in slavery and dealing with racism, whatever, because all that shit is tied in. I don't deal with that bullshit. I don't. Racism. And then keep in mind, are you talking about racism or prejudice? Being prejudiced. Because I think everybody, as long as you're trained under the American system, you're prejudiced. I don't believe in anyone that turned around and says, I don't see color. Bullshit. You must be colorblind, and either way, you still can't tell textures and facial structures. Come on now. I don't buy into slavery. Like, again, I've never had to show my freedom papers. I never had anyone. I live in New York City. I never had anyone walk up to me and say, "Where you going, boy?" Never. And if they ever did, listen, I'm from the streets of the Bronx. They see that nigga come out of me real quick. Real quick, fast, in a hurry. That's not happened to me. Never. Sir, never. There's been no one that walk up to me in the streets about, "Where you going, boy?" No one referred to me boy in a conversation, in a board meeting, or anything. Never. Never at the holiday parties or anything. Never happened. I don't play that shit. And here's the thing. I've never even heard anyone got referred to that in my company. Never around me. Nah, I can't say nothing about if y'all Southern people, y'all allow people to talk to you like that. But I can tell you as a Northerner, I never heard that shit happen to me. I don't deal with the oppression talk, but I can tell you there's plenty of blacks out here that love to have that, because why? They want to feel like everybody else, and they feel like I need to feel like I'm oppressed in order for me to feel black, and that's crazy to me. I want to know how does feeling oppressed is synonymous with being black? That's crazy to me. Sir, you was in front of me, I'd stomp a mud hole you and walk it dry. God damn it. Nope. I don't deal with that bullshit. I don't. Never in my presence. No. And I'll be honest with you right now. The most disrespect I've ever dealt with have been people who are only my skin tone. Those are people who disrespected me the most. The most. And I've traveled all over this country. The people who have been the most disrespectful to me has been people who have been of my skin tone. I'm gonna be honest with you. And I've still had to set them straight. And you only get really one warning. You get one warning from me. And the second one you get hit because I don't play fair. That's it. Oh, no one hurt me. But I'm not going to sit here and have people tell me, like, basically try to, and I'm not even going to throw this on user, but I'm not going to have people that will run up on me and tell me that I can't get shit or I'm not worth shit because I'm oppressed. I don't do that blackity black shit. I don't run the oppressing Olympics. I don't do it. The Olympics is already on TV. I'm not doing that shit. I'm just not doing it. It don't fly well with me. It does not. It drives me nuts. Because most people who I speak to, they're like, no, it's fine. No, I'm good. But you know about this, but you know about that, and you know I watched a light-skinned dude wear glasses just like me, a light-skinned dude lay back in his bed and talked about how we for 400 years and we was hung from trees and we. Who the fuck is this we? You talking awfully a lot of French, my nigga. Who's we? You never experienced that. You laying back on what looked like fucking nice silk sheets. Who's we? Unless you tell me you are one of the first people and you're able to live that long, you got a celestial body like fucking Adam and Eve. Who's we? You haven't lived that long. Who the fuck is we? What are we talking about here? You talking about slavery? What slavery have you been through? Stop it. You can talk about what your ancestors have been through. Don't say we. You have not experienced shit. You can talk about what your forebears, what your predecessors have dealt through. You have not gone through it. Now, we can talk about systemic issues, sure, but slavery? No. Ain't nobody sold you nowhere. Well, black, you know what? For the sake of fuckery and ignorance, since apparently that's what we're aiming for right now, how many of you darkies, you jigaboos in the chat have ever gotten sold to the South in 2024? How many of y'all? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. We're going to, since apparently we're going to do this bullshit. How many of y'all? How many of y'all? You said that's hurtful? You been sold before? Huh, Marcus? Nigga, how many of y'all been sold? Not sold a bag of goods. How many have been sold into slavery? You was in the chain gang. You was picking up trash. You had the submit to the white woman. You couldn't eat the apple pie sitting on the windowsill. Like, well, come on now. Slavery today? Slavery. And we forget what slavery really was throughout entire human history. Because blacks will pretend like slavery only happened here. Like slavery didn't happen throughout human history. From the rising sun all the way here. Like what are we doing? Have we forgotten the Persian Empire for 2,000 years dealing with slaves? Have we forgot about Egypt in their whole slave thing? China with their slave thing. But then we want to talk about today, and we're gonna say that we have slavery today. Slavery. We're really doing that? I think not. And it seems like I'm being unfair, but no, there's no slavery today. I don't think OG can have the business that he have and live where he lived and do what he do if he was under bondage of slavery. I don't. Like, I just, it's not a thing. You could talk about what happened in the past, but to say that we are living it today is bullshit. You talk about sex trafficking. First of all, we didn't have a conversation about whether sex trafficking is a thing. That's not the conversation. When you turn around and you say things like, we are dealing with slavery today here. I have never been a slave. There's no one I know who's been a slave. Nobody. You can say that the humans repeat actions or whatever, and I'm not going to doubt that. I'm not even saying that slavery will ever be abolished and will never become a thing again. Never going to say that. Slavery will always be a thing. And in fact, most people can't even tell the difference because they're so stuck up on the whole Ostobe, pow, Ostobe, pow, Kuta Kente, pow, nope, Ostobe. They too busy stuck up on that bullshit than to forget that a lot of what people consider as slavery was indentured servitude. It was like a job. Not everybody took a whip to the back or worked in a rock quarry. But people like to get so hyperbolic in their thinking. Nuance matters. I'm not being obtuse about slavery. I'm not. I understand the different forms of slavery. It's everybody else to say they use the one word of slavery and then turn around and try to hold it for a standard for all. I'm not being obtuse about it at all. And a lot of them in the Middle Eastern countries are still using what? Indentured servitude. They signed on to do that. They're not just being picked up. A lot of them are being signed on to do that. Are there some slaves? Absolutely. But if we're going to talk about here in these United States that we're holding on to slavery? Listen, show me the slave here in the United States. Show me the slave quarters, the slave quarry that we have here. And I'm not talking about sex trafficking. Show me the slavery. They're working here. Like, show me that. Because honestly, when you have countries that make it okay to have slavery, I don't give a fuck about what's going on there. Because they made it okay. It's law. That's not something that happens here in the United States. So to tell me that I'm dealing with slavery would be bullshit. I'm not dealing with slavery. I don't know anyone that I know who's dealing with slavery. I can say that there's an abundance of Americans here who are not dealing with slavery. You can bring it to the Middle East if you want to, but the Middle East isn't here. We're in the West. So don't tell me that we're in slavery. I didn't say slavery doesn't exist. That was never a claim. But the claim was that, actually, I'm in slavery. No, I'm not. Listen, those are roots. But the thing about the roots are not the entire tree. What are we saying here? No, you don't. You need the past. See, there goes a fallacy right there. You need the past to predict the future. That's a fallacy. You need the past to predict your present. Your future has nothing to do with the present right now. Your present dictates the future. Your past is how you got to the present. Your past doesn't dictate your fucking future. What are we saying? You don't know what the future holds. That's why it's the future. Your past indicates how you are today, not where you're going to be in the future. Your past absolutely does not predict the future. Your past predicts how you move in the present. Your present is an indication for the future. People forget about the fucking present because they're too busy either looking in the past or trying to predict what's going on in the future, and they can't pay attention to what's going on in the moment. In the moment. Too many people don't actually take the time to pay attention to the signs of the things that's happening today so that they can help influence how it will be shaped in the future. Instead, you know what too many people do? And I said it plenty of times in the other platforms, and I said it here on this platform. Too many times, people become very ignorant about what's happening here in the present because they claim that it doesn't affect them today, and then get mad when shit hits their doorstep in the future, which is their present. If you are adapting to the world that you live in all the time, instead of being so dismissive of everything that's taking place in the world, you wouldn't be so butthurt about what happens in your future present. You wouldn't be. In fact, people wouldn't have to worry about this whole, as they say, LGBT community if they had paid attention to the signs way back when. But because there were too many people that turned around and said, it's not affecting me, it's not affecting my family, and it's not affecting my friends, I ain't got to worry about it because that's not my worry. Not thinking about their future lineage, not worried about their kids, their children, or their children's children, or their children's children's children. So therefore, they didn't turn around and made active and concerted efforts to make sure that things were properly adapted so that it would be minuscule compared to the how, as you say, obtuse that it is today. Come on now. Come on. Your present influenced. They don't say how you were. They don't say how your ancestors were what influenced how you are today. That's not what they say. They say who you are to be, you are now becoming. That's the saying. Who you are to be, you are now becoming. Which means it's all predicated on how you behave now and how you see yourself in the future. Not how you saw yourself in the past. How you saw yourself in the past is an indication of how you are today. How you see yourself in the future is based on all the actions that you make today. People forget about the present all the time because they just worry about the past and they worry about the future. They fucking forget about what's happening in the moment. I don't care about the tsunami that's going to happen in the future if you can prevent the tsunami by concerted efforts that you put forth today. And I don't give a fuck about what the tsunami that happened in the past because you can't change the past. You cannot change the past. You can only influence the future. You cannot change the future because you cannot see it yet. I don't understand how that's a misconcept. First of all, that's absolutely incorrect. Because if you don't know about your past, you can't repeat something you don't know about. Let's just go with that logic right there. Let's just go through that logic right there. If you have no indication of what happened in the past, you can't repeat something you know nothing about. Let's just go right there. Let's just go right there. You cannot repeat something you didn't know anything about. So you cannot be repeating something. That's already a fallacy. That's already a fallacy right there. And again, this whole thing about not being present. That's the problem with people today. They're not present. That's why we have so much problems in the world. People are not present. They want to philosophize and be a fucking scholar about everything that happened in the past and not pay attention to shit happening now. Well, what do you think the future's going to be like? Well, what about today? I can't think about today. I gotta think about the future. And then shit happened and they're like, how did it come to be this way? You wasn't fucking in the moment. The world left you behind. That's what happened. That's what happened. You got left behind. Because you were too stuck in the fucking past and you were too busy wondrous of the fucking future that you missed the moment. You missed the moment. You know what the problem with too busy focusing on the past and too busy wondering about the future? It's escapism. You don't want to be fucking in the moment. It's escapism. That's the truth of the matter. You're escaping the whole world that you live in today. That's plain and simple. That's the dead ass. I always tell myself that I always want to have an adapting mind and not be rigid and not just be focused on worrying about a past that is already long dead and not worry about a future that is yet to be. All I can worry about is now, one step in front of the other, focusing on the bridge in front of me, not worrying about a house that is yet to be built in a land that I cannot see yet. Know what the song was? Step by step, day by day. They didn't say anything about the fucking future. You are not a precog. This is not Minority Report. I know people would love to see what the fucking future looks like, but you have no concept of it. Just like the people of the fucking past could not possibly conceive the present that we're in today. They couldn't. Nobody saw anything was happening today that we have today. So you have no inclination of what the fuck the future is gonna be like. You just don't. And it's a fallacy to believe that if you just go from the past and skip the present to go to the future, that you have a prediction. Because if that's the case, then all roads lead down to another ice age. Because that was the past, right? All age lead to another ice age. If you're gonna say that all we do is repeat each other, then all roads lead to another crucifixion of Jesus, right? If you want to say that the past repeats itself, if humans never change, there will be another Jesus and he's gonna be crucified yet again. The ice age will happen yet again. When do we stop to pay attention to the actual present? When do we stop and we become cognizant of the moment? When do we stop trying to be fucking oracles? Leave that to the people who are much smarter than you. Leave that to the revolutionaries. Leave that to the quote Elon Musk of the world. The people that's actually doing shit. Leave that to the people who actually do shit. Not hypothesize shit, not just talk shit, not armchair quarterback. Let's leave it to the people who actually do shit in the world. Because I think part of the problem, and I said this before and I'll say it again, part of the problem that we have, especially in this nation today, and this is not saying you, so I don't want you to take it personally as I'm saying this, but because I've said this well before you joined my channel. Part of the problem that we have, and I've said this before, and everybody who's known me before, whether I've been on the porch session or here or any other channel, is that we allow too many people to have an opinion. There was a time where we allowed the smart people to take care of the people who weren't that smart, to make decisions. Now, the stupid get the chance to vote, get the chance to have an opinion and have a choice. I'm not calling you stupid or anything like that. I'm just saying that in the world that we have today, we are so open to everybody's feedback when everybody's feedback is not warranted. Because if they had it their way, instead of sending a man out into space, we would just send fucking Fruity Pebbles. We would just send Lucky Charms. Why are we sending Lucky Charms into space? Because they're magically delicious. There's no other good reason. We just want to send a little luck out into the world. Stop being so focused on the future. You'll never know what it's going to be like. But you can help shape it. That's the whole point of having the knife. To be able to carve out the future. Not to try to state what the future will be like, but to influence what it can be like. Hey, Tom. Remember, what can be is unburdened by what has been. What can be and what we perceive that should be can be unburdened by what has been. What can be and is yet to be unproven will be unburdened by what has been. Words from Cam Cam. Philosophical words from Cam Cam. Stop worrying about the fucking future. How about you carve out the present for the future? Yes, sir, I've definitely worked in trade. Absolutely worked in trade. I worked in trade. I worked in sales. I worked in tech. I worked in logistics. Yes, sir. Absolutely have. Absolutely have. Even when you try to put up your predictive models, they never account for the unknowns. Because you can't possibly know. You can't possibly foresee shit. You can't. I know we like to pull up metric programs to try to foresee shit that's going to take place in the future or whatever. It doesn't work because you don't know. The same way how I can say that today on Saturday is not going to be the same Saturday that it was last year, the year before that, and the year before that. And I'm not going to tell you that the weather was the same. Why? Because the indication of the past is not a great barometer for the fucking future. Because the future is ever changing. History is ever changing. It's always changing. You are not the same person that you were last year on this day last year. You are not. I'm sorry. It's not a good predictor. Because when's the last time we had to worry about Vikings being on the shores and fucking raiding villages? Not a good predictor. When was the last time you heard of the Catholic Church raising out holy wars to take over land and take gold and silver? Not a thing. When's the last time you saw a friar from the churches? Not a good indication. It's not. When was the last time people raided fucking villages with fucking swords? Not a good predictor. To say that civilization doesn't change? Come on now. Instead of just straight up kicking boots on doors, we get to vote? That's already a good predictor of civilization changing. On a mass scale? Not just the privileged few? Come on now. Come on now. Stop it. Stop. Where's the Jordan drop? Stop it. Get some help. Stop it. Even a psychologist will go up against you on that. And I debate a psychologist, by the way. And she gets cooked. She get cooked by my non-PhD ass. I said what I said. Yeah, I know you watch me. I said what I said. You know you be getting cooked by me. I said you be getting mad. You be like, ooh, I'm so mad at you. Go grow some hair. I be cooking her ass. I literally have people with fucking high-end degrees be sitting there like, I just need to throw my shit away. Not because I'm so smart, because the world itself is not an echo chamber. There are so many areas, there's so much gray matter here in the world. I'm sorry. Like, the world itself is not a monolith. It's not. There's so much going on. And we need to be very open-minded to it. Only those that think that the past will always be the future are those who are doomed to repeat it. Those who have no indication of the past cannot repeat something that they haven't experienced. And to be honest, those who study the past haven't experienced, because guess what they do? They repeat it anyway. Because part of the human condition is to be ignorant and to be conceited. and to have ego, to believe that they are better than their predecessors, and fall prey to the same traps, because the same traps evolved. There are plenty of guys still today who got robbed by whores back in the Renaissance period, and till today get robbed by whores. Oh, guess what? I guess the past is a great indication of the future, right? No, humans are gonna human. But today, we also have humans that turn around and say, I won't be doing that because why? People are stupid. And that has nothing to do with them looking at the past. That's just them having what? Critical thought. I think if you want to have a good reason why people won't be competing in the future is because critical thought is not something that's actually taught often. Before, critical thought was something that was taught to the privileged and the few, because school was only anointed to people who were the privileged and the few. Then school was actually made for people who just wanted to work in assemblies, because that's the way our nation was brought up. And then we had this thing called post-education, where then critical thought can actually be brought. And then we had things like charter schools and such like that decided that they wanted to take post-education experience and actually start bringing it in forth in those other lower tier schools into actual public, or rather charter schools, so that critical thought can actually be brought up. But critical thought should be something that's taught to everybody if you wish to have a good civilization. The problem that we have as to why people do dumb things and why they repeat dumb things is because they're not taught to think critically. And if I'm lying, I am flying. Guys, if I'm lying, I am flying. I appreciate the conversation with user. I'm pretty sure, like him, there's plenty of other people that do also believe that the past is a great indication in the future. But there has been yet anyone who's ever brought that kind of case to me that can actually prove that the case that the case of the freaking past has actually been something that's taken forth into the actual present, and we can see great indicators of that, because quite frankly they acknowledge that the past happened, that they saw it, and they still willfully, ignorantly still turned around and did it. I haven't seen that, but I do appreciate his perspective. I actually enjoyed the conversation, and I honestly, if I didn't have the fact that I didn't have StreamYard, I would have invited you up. We could have been chopping it up, having that conversation. We could have gotten more deeper into it, because I know it's a little hard when we have when we have chat messages going back and forth versus actually hearing each other's voice, being able to get a whole lot more out. This is why I'm a person that, even with my friends, I prefer actual phone conversations and actual text messages, because getting the conveying the tone and actual intonations and actually be able to expound more on your point, I would love more of that. And honestly, if I ever open the panel for anything else, just like any other time, feel free to come up. Guys, I'm gonna give you back your time. I know OG Do Dirty's most likely got a show that's coming up. He's got his Let's Talk. Besides, he also does movie night. Guys, also as well on Tuesday nights, most likely going into Wednesday mornings at 1 a.m., OG Do Dirty and I do a show called The Drop By Discussions. 1 a.m., guys. 1 a.m. And then on top of that, if you're always wondering when I'm going to be doing streams, it is always going to be, well, I'll say always right now, but always going to be right now all the time on Wednesdays at 4 p.m. as well as Saturday at 4 p.m. Let me throw my little banner up here right here so you can actually see that, so that you guys actually know when I be going live. Be sure to pay attention to the community posts for whenever I put things out. I used to do shorts a lot. Maybe I'll go back to that. I haven't really been sure about that because I've been all over the place. I do put up videos from time to time as well, which I got to do because I've had some programming issues. But I will get back to that as well. And next week Wednesday on the 8th, I did put in my community post as well, so be sure to check that out. We will be doing a segment on how do white people experience racism. If you happen to be a qualification person yourself, feel free to come up. This will be a panel open thing. I will have plenty of questions so that you can be able to give your take on, and this is an informational platform so that other people can actually understand what kind of trials and tribulations that Caucasian people go through. because too many times I think that we look at many different areas when it comes to races and they become very dismissive because they want to blame everything on white people. But is everything really white people's fault? And how do white people feel about that? What about the white people that actually are not in a particular behavior, that think that, quite frankly, they have oppressed anybody or whatever the case may be? We gotta have a question about that. So if you are a person who are of Caucasian descent, feel free to come up on the channel. We will have an open panel that day. I'm gonna ask a whole bunch of questions. It's a fair and balanced conversation. It's not something that people are gonna be attacked or anything on, because it's about giving particular perspective. So feel free to actually show up on that particular show, and then when I have other big highlight shows, I will also put that up as well. Guys, thank you for showing up today. If you are interested, of course, you can always reach me on other mediums, which is like my Twitter, which is like my Instagram, and which of course is my email address, which of course is wrestleopinionated@gmail.com. Not that you necessarily need to, we're a small channel, but everything does help. If you wish to reach out to me and send me any kind of donation, it's going to be at Cash App, Opinionated at Cash App. And then of course, if you're a PayPal person, then of course we have that. Guys, I will leave you to it, and I will see you in the next one. Stay opinionated.